Hello, hello, hi, who jumped? I changed my settings, let me just fix them. Oh, it was this. I turned the noise gate down because I had to be relatively quiet last stream, but we're okay today. The normal kind of time. Hope we're all good. We are going to be talking about the most common sense trans woman you'll ever meet. Sorry, the common sense trans woman you'll ever meet. So I talked about this Daviana person before. I'll show you who I'm talking about. You should recognize this person, I would hope. That I have posted. Here's who we're talking about. We've talked about this person before. They got kind of big on TikTok, like, what was it, a year ago? Maybe 2 years ago? Doing the kind of, I'm a sensible trans person. Pretty much the kind of shit that people think of me as doing. I don't think it's quite true, but whatever. But yeah, so this person came on being like, oh yeah, I'm a dude, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to be a woman. I'm not trying to call myself a woman, this kind of stuff. But they've been quite controversial, I guess. A lot of the TRA types don't like them, but they've kind of clashed with a lot of TERF types too. So they were on fuck, where is it? They were on Soft White Underbelly. They did this interview where they talk about themselves. They talk a bit about like their daughter and like family support. There was a lot of interesting stuff coming out about this guy and his daughter and their daughter, because the mother and Daviana are separated, and at the time she went for like full custody and like an emergency removal of this person from their property, like taking custody and him just paying and stuff. And there were like affidavits that came out about it. So this one, I don't know what TERF Alliance is all about or what it has to do with it. Yeah, it was like complaint for divorce and all sorts of stuff. And there was this affidavit. There's some really strange stuff going on in here. Like some rather crazy like allegations, and this is from 2021. So I don't know how things have developed since then. Obviously, everything on here is like none of it's like proven or anything. He got into some kind of slap fight. I think I censored it properly. There's a lot of his name is public, but I thought I'd be and David is obviously like the dead name, and it's Daviana now. But I think they go by either and don't care about pronouns. So if I call this person a he because they have very male vibes, then I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad anyway. So. But yeah, they got in some kind of slap fight on Facebook with whoever this is, Rigo Irizarry. But I have a feeling this person shows a bunch of documents that have like his kid's name and stuff on them. Essence of Thought is talking about Rachel Oates again. That sounds like a terrible idea. If you know what that's all about. I guess I'll look at this quickly. I don't like going on Facebook on my fucking stream. But apparently this person had a bunch of beef with this person as well. You can see Daviana in the background.
Oh, we're doing part 2, bitch, because some of y'all wanted some receipts, right? Why believe me? Why should you believe me after I expose David, aka Daviana, a man who claims he's trans, but really he's a straight man, cross-dressing, invading women's spaces.
I mean, I don't know, like the invading spaces thing, there was a thing from Known Heretic, which I did watch at the time. I might briefly go over it again. But the crossy vibes are undeniable.
While at the same time gaslighting his public. And before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to Animosity Ari, because Ari has been coming after David, trying to expose him, and Ari has done this work, and I just saw the video and I was like, poof, thank you. So if you can, go tell Ari thank you after this video. Ari, big shout out to you and thank you for the work that you've been doing. Now, receipts. Some of his followers want a receipt. So what better receipt than maybe divorce filings from his...
Yeah, so he's going to show... Yeah, these have like his kid's name in them and stuff, which is really ridiculous. Like, this guy's a fucking idiot. At the same time, there's some weird stuff around this person. They're trying to present as this rational trans person. But they've got all this like weird history. A lot of it's like alleged. It's hard to know what is true. I have a feeling like his kid might be coming out with some kind of crazy story in like a decade or so. But it really depends. Could go either way. And then this person has been accusing their ex-wife, who's like the mother of the child, of like domestic abuse or something. So they're happy to come out and air their dirty laundry and stuff.
Okay.
I have no idea what's going on with this filter, by the way.
My ex was arrested twice. The cops were called to my house twice. Both times, they looked at the size of me and the size of her, and the cops said, if you didn't have these pictures, you'd be going to jail right now just simply because you're bigger, and we are taught to always believe what the woman says. But based on your pictures and your story and the lack of proof behind her story, could you do us a favor and walk your daughter in through the garage while we walk her mother out through the front door so that way she doesn't see it? That was the second time. The first time, when I was a victim of domestic violence, she ran to the police station while I was hiding in my truck from her.
Yeah, so all alleged. We've no idea what the truth of any of this stuff is. I don't know about like airing this shit about your ex who's like the mother of your child. I don't think it's the ex that's been going on about it. He was, at the start, he was reading about this Rigo person who does just seem like they're trying to start shit and have some gender critical views of their own, I guess.
Good evening, everyone. So, there's been this back and forth talking by, the Mr. Oh, I'll never tell a lie, but yet he's telling lies. And remember how I said I would never come on here and rip apart someone because I don't know them. And then the last time I was on here and I said something about this particular individual, it was because they gave me something to learn about them. So they did it again, and they went ahead and gave me something to learn about them, so now I have something to talk about. So, Mr. Rigo, I'm going to assume that you're not a father. I'm also going to assume that you've never been with a woman before. You called every single one of my followers that commented on your stuff all sorts of dirty names and yelled at them and called them names, and you were very aggressive about it. But yet you're still saying that I'm the problem. And then you posted a video saying, oh, you want receipts? And you went and you read verbatim, and you read it off a piece of paper that you said it, this is what happened. But what you read, just so you know, was not any kind of receipt. What you read was an affidavit. And what an affidavit is someone writing a story as to what they believe happened or is happening. An affidavit, there's no proof to it. There's no investigation to it. There's nothing.
This is true.
It's not a testimony because she never testified. We never went to court. What you did, though, is you did what every other news channel on the planet does, and you've proven that you don't care about the truth. You just care about finding news and posting it, whether it's true or not. And this time, you went ahead and you published my ex-wife's full name and my daughter's full name. Now, for all you...
posted my ex-wife's full name, but then we're going to start outing her as a potential abuser. It's very strange. It's a strange response to, like, some drama shitter, I mean, I don't even know who this guy is. Like, it's not a bit strange. Oh, this guy's got fucking Trump and Nicki Minaj on his, what's the word, banner or whatever. Cringe. This is some Trumper gay guy, cringe as fuck. Is what it is. But it's an odd response considering it's not their ex-wife that's the one kicking off about all this, and he's not responding to his ex-wife here.
Parents out there that are quote-unquote fans and followers of this gentleman, how would you like it if someone went and publicized your kid's first, last, and middle name? You know, if you're looking for me to get a reaction out of me, you're still not going to get it, because what you're doing
What?
is you're
What is this then?
proving to me that you're the worst kind of human being there is. Because what kind of a human being takes someone's 8-year-old daughter and publicly puts out there what her first and last name is? Someone that I don't even put on social media. Someone that my ex-wife doesn't put on social media. And you went ahead and made it public to everybody that follows me and everybody that follows you, her first, last, and middle name, and my ex's first, last, and middle name. All because you think, oh, I got receipts. When you don't have receipts, you have a story told by a woman that was scorned and a woman that was hurt. And everybody knows that when a woman is hurt, or even when a man is hurt, they're going to say things and they're going to embellish. So you have one side of the story, but you're not publishing anything else, and that's fine. And I'm not going to sit here and defend myself to your quote-unquote receipts that aren't receipts. You know, you said that I had charges against me. I said supply proof. You didn't. And you didn't supply proof because you can't, because there was never charges brought against me. So what you have is a statement from an angry ex-wife. Again, still no proof of anything. But I am going to say one thing, okay?
Yeah, so then we allege that the ex is actually the abusive one.
So thank you for digging up my past. Thank you for proving nothing but that you're the worst kind of human being there is. That's all you are. Screaming and crying. And my daughter yelling and screaming and crying at the time was 4, I think. 3.5. A few minutes later, they came out and brought me my daughter because there was no proof or evidence to the story that she was telling. But there was tons of proof and evidence to the story I was telling. And she was arrested that day and demanded and required to stay away from the house. So thank you for digging up my past. Thank you.
Thanks for digging up my past. Said that this was all unproven. Now I'm going to expose even more of my past, supposedly. It's a very odd response.
For proving nothing but that you're the worst kind of human being there is. That's all you are. All because what? You don't like that I'm transitioning and that I'm not gay? All because you want to make up some story about me being some big bad guy? All about, oh my God, it's a trans person that's admitting their biology and they don't like men, and they should, according to your standards, because you have your rules of what a trans person, every trans person should be. So for you and all your followers, shame on you. Shame on you. But thank you for showing your true colors once again. Because the last time you showed your true colors, you told a whole bunch of women that you didn't know all sorts of derogatory terms. You didn't even know them. You didn't know anything about them. You didn't dig up their past, but you called them a bunch of derogatory terms. So, I mean, to me, it kind of sounds like you're the problem when it comes to the two of us, not me. You're the one yelling and screaming and getting argumentative and going digging. You know, you spend your days on social media talking shit about other people. You don't post your life on a daily basis. Where I'm spending my time on social media doing everything I can to show how happy I am being my authentic self and doing everything I can to make sure kids and the parents of those kids are not transitioning kids early. But yeah, I can see how you
Saving the children, this one. Absolutely.
think I'm just a big bad wolf. So congratulations, once again, for showing your true colors and being the big bad wolf that you are. And shame on you. You took my daughter's name and you put it publicly out for the world to see. And I'm sure every one of the mothers and fathers that follow you, I wonder how they would feel if you did that to their kids. I wonder how many of your followers are divorcees and how many of them wouldn't want all their dirty laundry aired by you and the attitude and the way that you do it. You know, nobody's perfect in this world, but yet you sit from where you are and you try to basically talk down to everybody and talk down about everybody. Like, you're just perfect and you're living your life perfectly and you have...
Getting repetitive. So yeah, this person, very controversial, I guess. The other thing, before I watched the soft white underbelly thing, they had a run-in with this crazy known heretic woman who is insane, to be clear. Like, some of the shit she comes out with is fucking nuts to me. But they had a bit of a run-in with this person as well. We'll just kind of look at this again quickly, and then we'll watch this soft white underbelly thing.
So Daviana has made another video about me. He's made, frankly, about 4 more videos.
There's an awful lot of drama slop with this person.
Videos about me since I last made a video, but he's really going to town now accusing me of being a bully. Now, this is what we call DARVO, D-A-R-V-O. This is to deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. So the thing is, in my video, I called him out for his specific behavior. I treated him like any other man, like I would treat a man in my own.
I think it was something like I think this Daviana person still wants to use like women's spaces, which seems a bit nuts because like fucking hell, he's like you.
Family, if they violated women and girls' boundaries. So I'm literally holding him to the same standard that I would hold any other man in my life. That is the standard that I'm holding him to. I'm treating him like any other man, including the men that I love. If a man that I loved did the same behavior as him, I would call them out in the exact same way, because 0 men deserve to violate women and girls' boundaries. So I addressed his specific behavior. I told him no, and I told him women don't consent. That is not bullying him. I haven't bullied him. He is also massive, over 6 feet tall, 220 pounds, a former Marine, little old me, 5'3" me.
Yeah, he originally said he wouldn't, and then he wants to. Yeah, I remember.
I did not bully him. I am not a bully to him. Also, he has over 500,000 followers. That is how many followers he has. I am a relatively, compared to him, very small account. So both physically.
Woo, I'm a small woman and I have no following. Crazy. Yeah, the whole thing was he didn't want to use women's toilets, and now he does. And I think eventually this person went back on it. We'll just see. Let me just keep this up. I do find this person insufferable.
So I can't believe we're talking about David again. David, aka Daviana, who last week begrudgingly said that he would no longer use women's spaces.
I will never step into a women's bathroom. That's it. Not gonna happen. Okay, so be happy because I'm being honest and truthful.
Be happy. I remember this. Fucking hell. Your bitches better be grateful.
Just a mere few days later, has completely recanted on that and says that it is okay for him to violate women and girls' spaces 1% of the time.
Ew, no, David.
Here is a clip of what he has said.
Look at that. What's that? Is that a men's room, women's room, handicap stall that has one bathroom in it? Oh my God. I think it is. And like I said to you guys before, this is where I spend 99% of the time where I try to go to the bathroom is right here.
David?
So you spend 99% of the time right there. What do you do the other 1% of the time? What do you do the other 1% of the time?
David, are you a dirty peeping Tom?
He says he uses women's spaces 99% of the time, but obviously that exposes a caveat that 1% of the time he is willing to use women's spaces.
Oh my God, ew, David!
So rightfully, he has gotten called out in the comments for this, and then he put up this comment right here that says that in the very rare cases where there is not a family bathroom or unisex bathroom, he will
Common sense life coach. Jesus.
take a woman friend into the bathroom with him to go in with women. So first of all, women don't consent. There will be women in there that don't consent, and there will be girls in there who are below the age of consent. So he can't use his woman friend as a human shield.
I don't know what this age of consent thing is. We're using the bathroom. He's not fucking them.
For women who he knows have told him repeatedly, we never want him in our spaces ever. There is no exception. No men, no exception. Don't men using women's spaces. He said
The most boomer like editing as well.
that here.
Percentage of you said men's room or single stall bathroom. Never ever step into the women's room. So I'm going to please you, and I'm going to do just that. I will never step into a women's bathroom. That's it. Not going to happen. Okay, so be happy because I'm being honest and truthful and open and clear, and I don't condone and never have condoned, even with any of the videos that I posted, that we should allow trans women into women's spaces in any way, shape, or form, because I don't condone that. I never have condoned that.
So first he said that he heard women, that we never, ever, ever want him in our spaces. And he said he agreed to that, and he publicly agreed. And then he said he never made justifications for why men should be in women's spaces. But now he is saying that 1% of the time, it is okay for him to be in women's spaces. And that he always, in those cases, has a woman friend with him. First of all, again, the woman friend doesn't justify him being in there. Like, it's insane. Like, any man can come in there as long as they bring a lady friend with them. No, I don't consent to you being there. One woman's no is enough.
I think you should stay out of it, David.
No.
That doesn't make any sense. At the same time, we've seen what this person looks like. The idea of this particular person in women's spaces is fucking nuts. Um, I can't be asked to listen to any more of this. Yeah, so they have a YouTube channel. They're more known on TikTok than YouTube. They've got like 500,000 followers on there or something. We've got the common sense trans woman you'll ever meet. Ask me anything and I will answer it. They have a video about Trill.
Quiet clap.
Transgender women can actually breastfeed.
It's nighttime. Daughter's asleep. Got some sun today. We're talking about transgenders women breastfeeding tonight. That's what we're talking about. And my previous video, I said, can't be done, this, that, and the other thing, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I was wrong. So upon research and different studies done through different hospitals, mostly in the UK and Australia and Canada, because one of the biggest drugs used to help induce lactation is not approved by the FDA, so it's not really happening in the United States. But what they're saying is that breast tissue and breastfeeding is not specific to gender as much as it is specific to hormones. So with the right amount of estrogen and progesterone in your body, regardless as to whether or not you're male or female, with the proper medication and medical supervision, an actual biological male who is a trans woman can eventually breastfeed. Now, I dug deeper. There's one drug called doperidone, which is used in the UK and Australia and Canada, not approved in the FDA and with the United States, that is responsible for pushing extra lactation and increasing the amount of milk produced. Not very commonly used at all, but it has been used and has been proven. So transgender women, biological men, can actually produce milk ducts and can actually get real milk, healthy milk for the baby out of their breasts. It's not, they're clearly stating it's not the same as postpartum female milk, but they are also saying that there's not enough research to show that it's bad for the baby. There's only enough research to show that it provides at least partial nutrition for the baby. No negative side effects have been proven as of yet, but at the same time, very few people have done it. And I mean, if you think about the amount of women around the world and then the amount of trans women in the world, you're talking about like, I had a guess it's going to be like less than 5 or 10 trans women in the world that have actually attempted to do this. And then on top of that, like, if you're a woman and you decided to have a baby with a trans woman, why would you want to give up your ability to breastfeed? I mean, that's a huge bonding connection right there. I don't understand why we'd want to give that up. I mean, even if like you couldn't, but they could, like, I don't know. For me, it's out of the realm for me, but you know, to each their own. I'm just providing the facts, and so far the facts say legitimately trans women, biological men with the right medical supervision and the right dosages of progesterone and estrogen and doperidone, I'm probably saying that wrong, can actually formulate milk ducts, produce actual breast milk that is nutritional, has nutritional value for the child, and is legit breast milk. So I stand corrected. The bottom line is yes, trans women can breastfeed. I'm dumbfounded, but sure. To each their own, I guess. I would never do it. Bye.
Okie dokie. I feel like this person's kind of audience should not be really down with this. But hey, let's. I think what he's saying is technically true. Trying to see if there's anything else. Oh, coming out to their daughter. I want to see what this was.
So once again, how I came out to my daughter. So going back about 2.5 years, this is after my divorce, and I have moved out, and I have a new partner. At this point,
They said grow milk ducts. I think you just kind of have like nipples. I don't know.
time I already have my ears pierced. I was already doing my nails, so she had seen me with nails and earrings, and it was no big deal. I wasn't wearing hoops or anything like that, just like studs. So we're getting ready in the morning, and she comes in the bedroom. Me and my partner dressed, and we're just figuring out jewelry for the day. And she starts going through my jewelry drawers. And she's like...
There's a video about the voice as well. There'll be some reason why. I mean, voice training is hard, I get it. We usually just kind of come up with copes as to why we sound like shit. But this is a bit egregious. Like, you could try a little bit.
Daddy, you have a lot of jewelry. And I was like, yeah. She goes, is this all yours? I said, yeah, that's all mine. She's like, some of these are like really girly. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Daddy likes to be pretty and, wear pretty things every now and then. And she's like, well, how pretty? And I was like really pretty. And like sometimes Daddy likes to look very pretty, like girly pretty. She just kind of gives me this look like, what do you mean? And I was like, do you want me to show you? Do you want me to show you a picture? She's like, I don't know. I was like, I have a picture of me and Mommy with Daddy looking really pretty. Mommy being not my partner. And she's like, okay. So I go through my phone and I pull up a picture of her mother and I out on a date, dressed very pretty, and we went out. And she just looks at it, and she's just like quiet for a minute. And I'm like waiting, and she's like, I didn't expect all this. And I'm like, uh-oh. Like, not a good response. So I'm like, expect all what, honey? And she's like, now mind you, I'm bald. Like, I wear wigs, I'm bald. So she's like, all this hair. I was like, oh. Like, that's what she's worried about. Okay, I can deal with this. I said, it's called a wig, honey. I said, I wear it to look more like a girl. She's like, oh. So well, where is it? I said, it's here. And she's like, looked at me. She goes, it's here? Like, right here? I was like, yeah, it's in the closet, babe. I want to see it. I was like, okay. So I open up the closet, and there's like 5 wigs up there on pieces, and I pull down the wig that was in the picture, and she noticed the other ones, and she's, oh, no, I want to see them all. I was like, okay. So I pull all the wigs down and lay them out on the dresser, and they're all in like headstands, and she just looks at them. And she's kind of paused for another second, and I'm like, this isn't going to go well. So I'm super nervous at this point, and she goes, Daddy, this doesn't work. I'm like, what doesn't work? And she's like, they're a mess. She goes, you need to brush these. You need to take better care of these. And I was just like, I'm being yelled at by my 6-year-old because my hair is not brushed. Okay, this could be a good thing. I'm like, yeah, honey, I know that. I said, they're all washed and clean. I said, but they were just hung to dry. I said, and I'll brush them before I put them on. She's like, okay. And she's like, well, she goes, now I kind of want to see. I said, okay. I said, how about tomorrow we all go out to dinner and we put on nice dresses and get dressed nice? And she's like, okay. So the next day we all get dressed. Presenting female, we go to her favorite restaurant. We have a good old time, no big deal. Nothing changes, She still sits in my lap as we're waiting for our table, and we took a picture together, the 3 of us, and everything was fine. Went home, took everything off, got ready for bed, the whole bit. Next morning, she gets up, she comes running in the bedroom, jumps on top of me. Let's go do X, Y, and Z, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. I was like, how do you want Daddy to present today? And she's like, huh? I said, do you want me to look like a boy or look like a girl today? And she's like a boy. I was like, okay. So we went about that day. Fast forward to the next morning now. Next morning, she comes running in. Instead of jumping on the bed, she opens the closet, goes through all my dresses and jeans and everything else, and she pulls out a nice dress, like a casual dress, and then she picks out a pair of shoes to go with it, and then she reaches up to points to the wig that she wants. She goes, okay, I want you to wear this today, and I want to help you with your makeup. I was like, okay. Like, I didn't even have to ask. She just came in and was like, this is it. So we go into the bathroom and we do my makeup, and like she helps me blend everything and put everything on and so on. She does a good job, and I teach her how to do it. And then like I help put a little bit of makeup on her, and then I get dressed. She gets dressed, and we just kind of like did a normal day of things. We went to the supermarket, we went to the library, we went to an arcade, I think, just normal things, and nothing changed the whole bit. And she sat down at the end of the day with me, and she's like, why do you do this, and like what's the point? And I was explaining to her how much happier I am when I'm doing it and stuff like that, and asked her if she noticed. And she goes, you smile a lot today. She goes, so I don't know if that means anything. And I was like, oh, thank you for noticing, I really appreciate that. And so at this point in time, the next day I think she went to school and went home with her mother, and of course I get the phone call from her mother being like, what the hell, why did you tell her so soon? I thought we were going to tell her together, blah, 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 whatever. Neither here nor there. So now at this point, I am presenting as a woman every day that she's not with me, because we have 50-50 custody, and the days
Same mother of his kid that he went around saying abused him, by the way.
that she is with me, I'm presenting as a male unless she says otherwise. So I pick her up from school the next time that it's my turn to have her, and she's like, hi, Daddy, jumps in my arms a whole bit, gets in the truck, and she's like, I kind of thought I was going to see you as a girl today. And I was like, oh. I was like, well, I didn't want to dress as a girl. I said, unless you knew ahead of time and you're okay with it. She's like, I'm okay with it. It's okay. So fast forward like a month later, I'm going through my closet one day and I'm trying to get rid of some of the boy clothes that I like just don't wear at all. And I was going to donate them. And she comes in, she asks me what I'm doing, and I tell her. And she's like, can I help? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So there's this one outfit that is the daddy-daughter day outfit that we have a daddy-daughter day every single week where we get dressed up nice and go do something, whether it's as simple as like going to get like coffee or like, you know, breakfast and like going out somewhere to do it, or lunch or dinner or whatever. So we have that day, whatever day she chooses, and I wear specific gray dress pants with a little bit of pinstripe, black dress shoes, black belt, and a pinkish colored dress shirt. And every week, same outfit. It's a must. It's her favorite. That's the first outfit she grabs, pulls it off the hangers, and goes and puts it in the trash bag. I'm like, honey, what are you doing? I was like, I was going to save that outfit. She goes, I'm like, that's your favorite outfit. She's like, no, Daddy, you don't have to dress like a boy anymore. I'm like, what do you mean, like, at all? She goes, yeah. She goes, wear, like, dresses and stuff for Daddy-Daughter Day. I was like, I love you. You're amazing. So from that point forward, my transition, I allowed her to dictate when everything was being done. And I was actually shocked because from the trans community, I would get crap where people would, like, be like, oh my God, listen to his voice. It's so deep. Like, he hasn't changed his voice yet. Oh my God, he still hasn't changed his name legally yet. I do voice therapy, and my daughter was involved with my
What? This person does voice therapy?
voice therapy.
I find that hard to believe. I'm sorry. What the fuck are they doing there?
Appointment I had with a surgeon, she came with me. And right down to having my name changed, it was only about 3 or 4 months ago that she was like, okay, Daddy. She goes, you're pretty girly looking now, and you're very pretty. She goes, I think it's okay if you could change your name now. So I went about it the best way I could possibly think of and let her be in charge of when things get done. And the trans community of all people were the ones that gave me crap for it, which I thought was amazing. Not amazing, but like it's one of the reasons why I didn't want to and don't ever want to associate with the trans community. But my daughter has been absolutely amazing. She's now 8 years old and still is amazing, still calls me Daddy, and we have the best father-daughter relationship ever. So I hope you all listened to the whole thing, and I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for all your support. I really appreciate it. Have a good night.
Piss off.
No, don't.
So,
Sorry, I'm clicking things. Isn't she the same trans woman who competes in sport as a male? No, that was Nisa Powers. Oh, it went up to 3K. Wow, congratulations. There's a video about The Voice as well. Oh, and someone sent them an AI song. So they've got their own Suno song. I am not re-uploading any Suno songs people send me. Fuck that shit.
Hi, how are you? So, someone asked me in the comments, and so
Oh, his kid is like 6 or 7.
I figured I'd answer with a video to give an update. Common misconception when changing from male to female and taking female hormones like estrogen and progesterone like I am, your voice does not change from taking those hormones, okay? Female to male, when you take testosterone, your vocal cords will thicken, making your voice deeper like a man. So, do I do and have I done voice therapy? Yes. Have I kept up with it? No.
No shit.
Do I know how to make my voice a little bit softer, a little bit more higher pitched, and a little bit more flowy like a female's voice now? Yes, just a little bit. Believe it or not, right now, as you're hearing me speak, this voice is softer than my normal voice. My normal voice is usually more like this. So this is
There's a huge difference.
how I talk normally when I'm not trying to keep my voice lighter. This is how I talk now on a regular basis, and I'll slip back into that deeper voice if I'm talking
That doesn't fucking count, man. That doesn't fucking count. I'm sorry.
really fast or trying to keep up with the conversation. Now, if I actually put effort into it and think about all the things I was taught during voice therapy about breath control, tongue placement, and how to end the pitches of my words on a higher, longer note, and so on and so forth, my voice will sound more like this. And it gets just slightly softer, so slightly higher at the end of every word that I say. There's a little bit more femininity involved in it. I'll start to use my lips a lot more. You'll see my tongue move more. I get a little bit more animated.
They just always sound like straight guys pretending to be gay when they start doing the voice, you know?
And now my voice, as you see,
Maybe people think that's the same with me, but I always sounded gay.
it and hear it now is a little bit higher, a little bit softer, and a little bit more elongating of the words. But the truth of the matter is doing all that changes the way I breathe and makes it difficult to do all the time. And I'm very forgetful to practice.
Incredible. Anyway, so I don't know, like the affidavits, there's some like crazy shit in here, but it's all like alleged. What's it? Yeah, I'm a little confused at the age of the kid. I don't know if these are like recent videos. No femininity. Yeah, I'd agree. They have like quite big eyes, which I think helps a little bit, but yeah, so 2021 this was filed, and the kid was, say how old she was? I don't think it says how old she was at this point. So she might be 6 now, and she was like 2 or 3, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot of like allegations of like abuse and stuff. Had a partner or something. Like was cross-dressing back in like 2021. Kind of always starts there and moves on. There was a dildo stuck to a shower wall. Don't know what that's all about. And when were they? So there's some emails with like couples counseling. September 2021. So it seems like he was fucking someone else, whilst also with his wife and his daughter. Like the one in red is like the ex's name. GF. It's all very strange. It's all very strange. I didn't really hear him. Like he made allegations back to his ex, but I didn't hear anything about you know, well this claim was made that's not true, and that claim was made that's not true. It was all, oh, you outed my child's name, which is wrong to do, of course. Which is why I've actually censored this. But yeah, so the cross-dressing thing kind of corroborates. You don't know what is true out of all of this because it's not evident, and that's not usually how it goes with these kind of documents. He obviously has at least some access to his kid now, so I guess whatever came of this, some shit was worked out sort of later down the line. And yeah, there were some emails between the ex-wife and the couples therapy, the couples counselor that they've been going to, like calling him controlling and talking about like this girlfriend. So we want couples therapy. Do they do couples therapy for like estranged parents? It's a bit odd. I don't know if they were in an open relationship initially, or that was kind of worked out at some point. I don't know, there's a lot of strange vibes I get from this Daviana person. The way that they were talking, you know, I'll make you happy and not use women's spaces. The way he responded to that weird drama video, like throwing his ex under the bus, seemingly. You know, as the mother of your kid, like your kid might come across that shit one day. You're trying to be famous on the internet. You probably do have to be a bit more careful, like how you conduct yourself and what kind of shit you're airing out to the world. So I don't know. I'm very I'm really not sure about this person. It's always these kinds, isn't it? It's always these kinds that want to be represented. You look for any length of time and it turns out they're a bit insane. You have to take parenting class in order to get divorced. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know if that was kind of with the divorce already happening. But it's just odd that another person is involved. Like he's got another girlfriend or something. Like, all a bit odd. And like there was a restraining order. There's all sorts of weird shit. And all he's saying is, no, it was her that did it to me. It's a bit strange. Anyway. We wanted to watch this. So we have A New Kind of Trans, Daviana, Part 1. Apparently Part 2 is paywalled, so that's nice. We got Soft White Underbelly. Let's have a look.
The first time I ever went out in public, it was like 11 o'clock at night. I got dressed up and I drove to the gas station, got gas, and came home. And I felt like so scared and so nervous doing it because I was like, oh my God, like who's going to look at me? Who's going to stare at me? Like who's going to catch me?
All right, Daviana.
Hi.
Daviana, where are you from originally?
Boston, Saugus, Massachusetts.
Alright, there's one thing I missed.
The first time I ever went out in public, it was like 11 o'clock at night. I got dressed up and I drove to the gas station, got gas, and came home.
I want to know when this was. I hope he says.
And I felt like so scared and so nervous. Who's going to catch me?
That is very crossy already, though. I wonder if that was before like coming out as quote unquote trans.
All right, Daviana.
Hi.
Daviana, where are you from originally?
Boston, Saugus, Massachusetts.
Outside of Boston?
Yep.
Tell me about your family growing up.
2 brothers, 2 sisters. I was the youngest.
This figure is like fucking crazy, dude. Like they're okay at makeup. I've seen worse in terms of like the look. But like the figure is fucking nuts. And apparently this person is over 6 foot tall.
My mom was a nurse. My dad was an overnight truck driver.
It's like I get being a crossy when you look like this. I get being a crossy and doing it for a laugh or whatever. You start wanting to live your life that way. It's a bit nuts. By the way, I'm trying to read his tattoos.
My mom stopped nursing when
I don't think this is the thing. You moaned about someone else. Like it is technically public info. It's quite easy to find what his daughter's name is and shit. I did wonder if he's like literally got a name like written on him or something, but I can't see it.
into holistic healing, and my dad stopped truck driving and went into business for himself as a general contractor.
How would you describe your childhood in general?
Conflicted, I guess, because I was looking up to my brothers, felt a different way inside, spent a lot of time with my dad building hot rods, played soccer. Typical very small child of 6 feet, well, 6 feet
I hate Gumball. Okay, here we go, 6 foot.
tall when I got older, but was still super skinny. I think I graduated high school at like 135, 140 at 6 feet tall. So small kid, got bullied a little bit.
Yeah, 6 foot, this kind of figure, trying to live as a woman. Very occasionally using women's spaces with a chaperone. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think if I was this big, even if I wanted to do it anyway, which, you know, it's not like I'm saying just don't bother if you're bigger. But I don't know. I feel like I couldn't do it. I haven't used women's space in fucking years now. I don't pass as well as I used to because I don't try as hard as I used to. But I felt like at the very least, like I'm a bit tall, but I'm like skinny. I'm not like imposing. Someone like this, I feel like the fact that they're in what you might think is the wrong bathroom, like obviously male, and the fact they're fucking massive, it kind of adds up, you know?
But, you know, that's pretty much like the gist of it. Like went to work with my dad as a kid, like we all did, all the brothers did.
Nothing traumatic happened to you in your childhood?
There was traumatic things going on in the house that I wasn't aware of until I was probably like 10 or 11. I'll speak about like things that happened to me, but not my family because they don't want it out there. So,
Wait, hang on. I didn't. He's got this Facebook video telling stories about how his ex was actually the abusive one. Because some drama shitter, like, was starting on him. Like, talking about these affidavits and, like, showing his daughter's name and dumb shit like that. But now we're being delicate. Like, I think we need to pick one and stick to it, to be honest.
I'll speak about like things that happen to me, but not my family because they don't want it out there. So,
I mean, that's fair enough, but then it's like, why air your like ex's dirty laundry with this kind of shit?
and to find my ex in the back yelling and screaming and crying, and my daughter yelling and screaming and crying at the time was.
Like, it's all a bit strange.
I think the easiest way to say is that my mom grew up in an Italian household where her and her mom were abused. So I don't think she really got out of that habit. So I was abused at a certain point. I think I was around 10 or 11. As far as I know, other kids got abused, but they don't really want to talk about it. They don't really want it publicized. So
This is more from your mom than your dad?
my dad didn't ever. No. Plus, my dad was, and when we were younger, he was like truck driving for, what the hell was the name of the company?
So mommy issues, kind of figured.
Sanborn. Trucking, he was never around. Mom was a short little Italian boss lady. Like, it's like she was the one you were scared of, but, God forbid you cross her, she threatened you with dad, and dad was 6'5". Like,
Listen, I'm not very bothered about passing trans women using women's toilets or spaces or whatever. It's when they start. It's when it starts looking like this, or when it's like that. Was it Gold's Gym? I can't remember. The person was literally just like a dude with like earrings. It's like there's a limit,
like 250. So dad was a big boy, and you were intimidated easily by dad. It didn't take much. He was a mammoth.
And what age were you when you first felt like you were looking to live your life differently than maybe your brothers?
So I don't know if I would say I was looking to live
The sad part is they said they did work on their voice.
my life differently. So like I can remember an exact moment that I knew that I felt differently. I was around 6. That seems to be the number that keeps coming to my head, is 6 years old. But I could have been 7, 8, not positive. But I was literally sitting in my living room and I was watching MTV, because back in the day we had MTV, and I was watching a Salt and Pepper video, and I remember looking at them, and they were in these beautiful red dresses and dancing and singing. They all had beautiful voices, and I was like, I want to be one of them. Like, I wasn't like attracted to.
I always wonder how many boys have these exact kind of thoughts, but it never becomes relevant because they never want to transition. I have a feeling this is more normal than we pretend it is. And it's like you recontextualize stuff like this later in life when you're not happy and maybe you're a crossy or whatever shit. You do wonder. It becomes like confirming because we're looking for confirming things, if that makes sense.
Them in a way of like, and obviously at 6 years old, I didn't even know what that meant anyway, but like I looked at them and I was like, I want to be them. I want to emulate them. And then from there, it was just like, I was always into like.
Okay, can we try and not pick fights in chat? I know people have strong feelings about spaces and stuff like that, but I don't really want to deal with it, if I'm honest.
Looking at women, but not in a way of like fantasizing about being with them. It was more about fantasizing about being them. So like I paid lots of attention to how women dressed, what they looked like, the length of my mother's nails and stuff like that. Like it always fascinated me. Heels, all that stuff. The concept of what a woman looked like, even growing up for me in the 80s, like really touched home with me.
That was interesting what you just said, because for most guys, they see women, they're attracted to them, they want to maybe have a relationship with them. But for you, it's more like you want to emulate them.
Yep. Yeah, very much so. But growing up in the 80s, we didn't have words like gender identity, and nobody talked about that. I mean, in the 80s, and I'm sure you know this, like people were still afraid to come out as being homosexual. They were
For
just
sure.
like, and the school I went
It's
to.
the classic late transitioner. Oh, well, I didn't have the language for it back then. Okay, man.
I think we had like.
You just never know whether any of this is ever true to that extent. Whether they were ever thinking in these ways. Or if they just felt like they'd rather have been female, and now that they're thinking about transitioning, suddenly it's important. You just never really know. It's like such a cliche now.
2 black kids, maybe 1 Spanish kid, and 2 gay kids. That's it.
That sounds like my high school.
Yeah,
at least what I know of it.
Yeah,
There may have been things going on under the surface.
The gay kids got picked on. So like I couldn't imagine me being like, yeah, you know, I want to dress as a girl. Like no. Like the amount of abuse I would get at home from my older brothers, you know, because older brothers pick on younger brothers and so on. And like, you know, we're always, it's not like today where like, it's like play a video game or do this. It's like, if you were roughhousing in the house, your parents would just like take that outside. They didn't care how much you beat the heck out of each other. It was just take that outside. So, and my brother was always way taller than me. So like he would just hold his hand on my head and I would just sit there and swing and couldn't hit him. It was just like, so like the last thing I thought about was coming out into the open about how I felt. Not only that, but I didn't really know how I felt. I didn't know what it was, just the feeling.
I didn't actually know how they felt, you know?
So it was just like, okay, I'll just copy my brothers and do what they do.
You just retcon it, you know?
Until what age?
Let's see. I would say it was probably, I would say literally within like a year or so of that, I was sneaking up into my mom's room, trying on some of her clothes when I had the opportunity to be sneaky.
Yeah, I agree. You should be able to understand that that's what you were thinking, even if you didn't have the language for it. I feel like having not had the language for it is a bit of a cop-out. It doesn't have great implications for like, oh, well, let's teach kids about it then, you know. It doesn't have great implications for that, I don't think.
Especially if they went away.
You know, let's give loads of kids the language for it. Is that a good idea?
Not went away, but like we're both out of the house. But I would say it wasn't until I was an adult, after the Marine Corps, that I actually started like purchasing clothes for myself to wear, like in private, you know, stuff like that. So well into my early 20s, 23, 24, something like that, before I actually started like being like, I'm going to buy this for myself. I'm going to buy that for myself. And like, now that I think about it, I can remember like my first wife, she had
multiple marriages,
an outfit and some boots. And she was just like, I want to put.
So 20s, cross-dressing already, buying the odd thing, wanting to wear stuff. They're like 48 now, I think.
Put this on you and I want to see what you look like. And I was like, is this some sort of joke? And she's like, no. And she had no idea how I felt. I was like, all right, whatever. And she's like, I think you look hot. I was like, okay. But like, that was it. Like, it never happened again. That was it. We were together like 6-7 years.
Was your wife onto you or?
No, I don't think she was onto me. I think it was just something that she just decided to be like, I just want to see you do this. I was like, okay. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she caught me trying something on that I didn't know about. You know what I mean? She was just like.
And how did things unfold after that?
We got dressed up, had sex, and that was it.
No, but like.
It didn't unfold after.
Glad to hear about that.
That with that relationship, nothing else happened. Got divorced. That's when I started actually like purchasing clothes. Met my second wife, and I was afraid to bring it up to her. And my second wife was like the pinnacle of a woman I would adore to want to be. She was tall. She was like,
oh my God, man. We're just throwing out all the fucking cliches. At least I guess we're like self-aware of it. But like that whole thing about like married trans women that are older that want to try and like skinwalk their wives, like turn into them. Again, it's like practically a cliche.
5'7", 5'8". She wore heels, and when she wore heels, we were eye to eye. She had long blonde hair, just like this, now that I think about it. And
oh my fucking God.
She was like 5'7", 5'8". She wore heels, and when she wore heels, we were eye to eye. She had long blonde hair, just like this, now that I think
the same height as her when she were in heels. We've got the same hair.
about it. And what I did to hide how I feel, and I didn't realize this until after therapy, is that I bought her clothes that I liked. I bought her shoes that I like. I bought her shirts and tops that I liked, that because I wanted to see myself in them. But
I hope she never watches this. Like, fucking hell. I think he's probably talking about the mother of his child, but I don't know how many wives he's had, you know?
Because I couldn't, I lived vicariously through her. And I never thought about
Well, the thing is, you're going to get women that are okay with it, as long as they're still being good partners and not, like, cheating on them and stuff. There's probably women out there that wouldn't give a fuck if their husband was cross-dressing, as long as he's, like, good to her.
Until I went to therapy and I was like, oh. Because I used to go to the stores all the time for no reason at all. I'd go buy a new pair of shoes, or a new pocketbook, or a new purse, new shirt, new skirt, new dress. And, like, people would just be like, what are you getting this for? I'm like, no reason. And it's just something that she loved. And I loved it because I got to see her in it and I would imagine myself in it. But we didn't get to do anything like that.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
Do you think this?
I don't know. There's this kind of this element of kind of AGP kind of stuff. I do relate somewhat to like AGP, but whenever I hear people talk about it, it's just the weirdest shit to me.
I would imagine myself in it, but we didn't get to do anything like that.
Do you think this was something that just the wiring was different with you than your brothers or any normal?
I think so.
Was there any event, sexual abuse or anything like that?
No sexual abuse at all. None, zero whatsoever. And before there was like any abuse to me as a child, I had this feeling before that.
Yeah, skinwalking is like copying someone, basically. Copying someone to too much of a degree.
Anyway, so it wasn't a big, like, a lot of people think like, oh, you had, the only way you feel this way is because you experienced abuse. And it's like, no, I felt this way before I knew that anybody in my family was getting abused. I knew before I got abused. And I didn't get abused much. I got abused a little bit, but not much. Like back in the 80s, I mean, that's the way it was. You screwed up, you got a beating. Like, I mean, that's the way we raised kids back then. So it's not like out of the norm. You know, and then after my second divorce, I was single for a while and I was buying way more clothes and spending more time doing it. And then when I met my last wife, on the second date, I told her everything. I was just like, I like to present as a female sometimes. I like to wear clothes. I like to go out in public if I can. I'm scared to, but I really want to. I told her about like, I went through a phase where I basically just said, I think it was around like 35, where I was just like, you know what? Can I swear?
Sure.
I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to try everything and anything. Like, I'm going to try every type of sex there is, every type of kink there is, every type of fetish there is, and see if I like it. Because why not?
Midlife crisis.
Like, I'm single. Why not try everything that's out there? So I tried a bunch of things. Some things I liked, some things I didn't. And then so got really into kink and bondage. And I told my last wife about that. And she was like, sounds great. Let's do it. I'm in. And that was like for her, I think it was because it was.
If you're a trans woman, you have to be like way too open about your sex life. You can't be a trans woman rather, coming out with your story, especially if you're attracted to women. You're like contractually obliged to overshare to absolute fuck all of your like sexual shit. I actually hate it. It
was like when that stupid movie came out, 50 Shades of Grey. So she was like, oh yeah, absolutely. But I was like way beyond that anyway. But she actually embraced the feminine side of me, and she helped me get ready to go out. So I started going out to clubs that like welcomed cross-dressers and stuff like that, and like felt comfortable. The first time I ever went out in public, it was like 11 o'clock at night. I got dressed up and I drove to the gas station and got gas and came home. And I felt like so scared and so nervous doing it because I was like, oh my God, like who's gonna look at me? Who's gonna stare at me? Like who's gonna catch me? I believe there was like a cop like in the parking lot, and like when I got gas, and I was like, uh-oh, what is he? I was like, he's gonna think that like I just thought all sorts of things, like because I felt so wrong about it. And went home, and then my wife at the time went out with me, bought me normal clothes, like more like casual feminine clothes, and took me out on my first actual date in public with her in Newburyport. And it was great. She even bought me a fake diamond ring to put on so it looked like I had a female wedding ring on. And it was amazing. It was beautiful.
So, but our marriage dissolved over completely different reasons. And then after the marriage is when I was just like, okay, I have my own place. I don't have anybody to like be prepared for, except for my daughter when she's here, but when she's not here, and we had 50-50 custody.
Okay, so the most recent wife, sorry, is this one. It has to be. Because he mentioned his daughter, his daughter when she's here. They have 50-50 custody. So I guess something was worked out in the end. At the time, there was a motion for like emergency custody and like moving this guy out the property. And I guess they live separately now. So all of this must be regarding that woman and must be regarding the same woman he's talking about here.
So I'm like, outside of work, I had time to just be me. And I got happier and happier and happier.
How old are you now?
48.
48?
Yeah.
You look good for 48.
Thank you.
Now, the
Dude behind the camera's got a stiff.
bodybuilding thing plays into this somehow, too.
Yeah, so not bodybuilding. I did competitive strongman and powerlifting. So before my transition, my last strongman competition, I ranked 3rd in the United States in my age group and weight class. So I was way bigger than I am.
Never did any cleaning or housework. I don't know. Was there anything in here? Was there anything in here? It's all about manipulation, intimidation, arguments, stuff like that. Recording her. That's the thing. He says like he's got evidence of like her abusing him and not vice versa. Here it's like, oh, he's been recording me and stuff. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. But I do not get good vibes. A lot of stuff about COVID. Pretty sure it's a weave. He's bald. He doesn't have his own hair. It's always a wig.
So that makes the whole thing safe.
I think the voice is the main reason I'm being super unwoke and calling them a he. It's like, I don't know, you hear someone talking like that. It's obvious what they are and who they are. I just feel a bit silly calling someone that sounds like this a she. I'm sorry.
For you, because a lot of...
Yeah, and I think so.
A lot of trans women will get picked on or beaten up or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, in the scale of things, like I've spent so much time doing research on like how many trans women get beat up, like in public, this, that, and the other thing. And like, I mean, it's unfortunate.
How many of them look like this?
But it does happen. I will definitely say that me coming out, like I did something a lot of trans women don't do. I came out before I started hormones. I came out before any surgeries. So when I came out, and
is that rare?
Like I did something a lot of trans women don't do.
I don't think this is true at all. Especially in like the UK, where most of us are like, waiting on like NHS lists. But they like come out anyway, don't they? I've not heard, I don't think this is...
I came out before I started hormones. I came out before any surgeries. So when I came out and said, hey, this is me, I'm presenting 24/7 as a female, I was still 6 feet tall, 235 pounds, and like 15% body fat. I was huge. And like, it's not until I look at pictures now going, oh, wow, yeah, you were a big human. And like now I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, wow, I'm so skinny. I'm so small. Yeah,
but you're still big enough to...
Bro.
Intimidate or just stop somebody from picking on you.
Yeah, I mean, but when it's done in a group, groups are groups, so you're always going to be cautious of groups, and they like.
Have you had bad experiences?
I haven't had any bad experiences. I've had experiences where like I felt afraid, but nothing came of it. But then I think because of my level-headedness with it, I think a lot of more people.
I think giving up on the passing thing is one thing, but we're still trying to validate the whole thing by saying, oh, well, I felt this way as a kid, when it's like, well, no one's ever going to know, are they?
People accept me, then don't accept me.
And the world is changing quickly, too.
Yes, rapidly. Sometimes in the good direction, sometimes not so much in a good direction.
But it seems, in general, the world is more accepting at least here in the U.S.
Yeah, I would say that. Definitely in the U.S. and in certain states. Like I know I met someone who left
That's the point. How did this guy vote? I want to know how he voted.
Texas to come live in Massachusetts simply because he was gay, and the area of Texas he grew up in was completely unsafe to be gay in. And he was deciding whether or not he wanted to be trans. And like I actually took him out publicly his first time as a female just to kind of help him. And he was like, I could never do this at home. I could never tell anybody. Like he literally left Texas, changed his name and everything because he was that scared of being there in Texas, in the particular area he was in. So it's like, I think the more south you go in certain areas of the country is where you got to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, as a generalization, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated with that. You're the first trans person I've interviewed that mentioned this, that you were admiring how women looked and were, but instead of wanting to be in a relationship with one, you wanted to be one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm heterosexual, so I still want to be in a relationship with one, but like my desire to be one had nothing to do with my sexuality. That's probably one of the biggest misconceptions, that everybody thinks that if you're trans, it means you're gay, and that's not the case. It's just
you've never had sex with a man?
Oh, I have.
He said that about that person as well. This guy that was making videos about him. Oh, you just have a problem with me because I'm trans and into women. Who fucking? I didn't watch much. This person seems like a bit of a dipshit in their own right, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I got no problem admitting it. I have. It wasn't for me.
Married to like 3 different women.
You'd rather be
with a woman 100%.
With a female.
Yeah.
I think he might have been divorced 3 times. I'm sure he said first, second, and last wife. It's at least 2. I reckon it's 3 though.
But you want to be one as well.
Absolutely.
Can't say my job isn't interesting.
No, it's not.
I get everything. And women are open to these kind of relationships?
I'm
sure there's lots of them.
Plenty. My DMs last week alone, I had 3 marriage proposals.
From women?
From women. Guys, I get hit on by guys in my DMs quite a bit, but they're a little bit more aggressive. Then it's not marriage proposals.
I'll bet it's not.
No, it's not. But I've had plenty of people be like, "Can I take you out? Can I do this? Can I do that?" And I'm like, "I'm not into women." And they're like, "Oh, I'm surprised." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I'm not into men."
Not into
men. And they're like, "Oh, like sorry." And it's like this one guy was like asking me for advice for fitness, and he was a powerlifter, and he was like, "Oh, you're beautiful." He goes, "What would you do if our eyes locked from across the gym?" I said, "They wouldn't." He goes, "Well, what if they did?" I'm like, "They wouldn't, not like that." I said, "If I looked at you from across the gym, it'd be because I'd be admiring a lift you were doing." I'm like, "Not you." He's like, "Oh, come on." I'm like, "I'm not attracted to men in that way." I said, "I can admire that you're very big and strong and your technique is good." And I'm like, "But that's pretty much where it ends." He's like, "Oh."
And so you're taking hormones to be more...
Yes, so I've been on
bodybuilding or for being
feminine. So I've been on estrogen and progesterone for 2 years.
And yet you're so big.
Yeah, but it takes a while. So right now I average about 205, and I used to average like 235. 6 feet.
6 feet?
Yeah, and I used to average like 235. And my strength has gone down significantly, but I'm still going to the gym and working out actively. To give you
I'd be willing to bet he's not doing, like, he did strongman shit like back in 2018 here. He's probably also not working out to the same degree, I would have thought.
My normal test level as a man would usually be around 700. Right now it's at 9, which is lower than normal female testosterone levels. Female testosterone levels are usually between 30 and 50. So right now my testosterone's too low. I might actually have to start taking some testosterone to even it out.
Are there long-term health effects from screwing with your...
Oh, of course there is. Yeah, there's all sorts. And the funny thing is that this is one of the biggest topics that I cover when I have all sorts of people all over the world reach out to me about their kids and stuff like that, taking hormones and all that. Like when you go to transition, they tell you the good things that you want to hear. Like you're going to develop breasts, your skin is going to get softer. If you're a female to male, your voice will get deeper. And a lot of people think that your voice gets lighter when you take female hormones. That doesn't work that way. As you can tell. But they don't tell you that, you know, be prepared for, like, you potentially after so many years might experience discharge from your chest, because you do start to form milk ducts and everything else. And I just experienced that just a couple weeks ago, and I was like, the hell is this?
So glad we're telling the world this. Progesterone. I don't know. I was not on this. I don't think. Would you normally be on progesterone as a trans person? Ooh, Gender GP. Let's see what Gender GP thinks of it. Because it's not a T blocker. Apparently it's better for bone density. I'm not aware that it's like necessary. I just took estrogen. It doesn't do anything. Okay. I just took estrogen and I was on decapeptyl for like a few months before my surgery. And that's a T blocker. Anyway.
You know, be prepared for, like, you potentially after so many years might experience discharge from your chest, because you do start to form milk ducts and everything else. And I just experienced that just a couple weeks ago, and I was like, the hell is this?
Not worth the money. I bet the older ones, they're always the ones that spend money on this kind of shit as well, because they have it.
You're producing milk.
No, I wouldn't say it's milk at the moment. It's from what the research I've done is it's like, because the ducts are so new and it's going from like a male body to a female body, like it's like nasty discharge that
I feel like he slipped up there as well. Isn't it supposed to be, oh well, I know my sex, I'm still male.
Yeah, to a female body, like it's like nasty discharge that you have to wait until your hormones regulate a little bit more in that area for it to actually...
Right. I haven't had any of these problems, like, at all. But you could not waterboard this information out of me. Like, Jesus Christ.
do that. And it won't produce milk unless I, like, actually, like, physically try to.
Or start holding a baby or something like that.
Yeah, I guess. Start holding a baby or start, like, physically pumping and stuff like that. And I actually did research into this because people asked me...
You didn't experience this? I think it's something that can happen.
It's definitely odd to think about, but the research does show that trans women, after being on hormones for so long, can actually be able to breastfeed a baby, and the nutrition is not 100% up to par, but it's close enough that they said that a baby could drink from it and be perfectly fine. And I find that to be
stop. Please stop.
Totally awkward, and I would never do it. And I've seen pictures of people doing it, and I'm just like, oh, it's not for me, but to each their own, you know? So,
glad we established this.
Yeah, the hormones, the one thing I will say that I've heard other people say is that they get like the cramps and stuff like that. None of that's ever happened to me.
And you've been on testosterone too?
Before this, yeah.
When you were just trying to be large.
Yeah, so I naturally had low testosterone. Normally when people transition male to female, they have to take a testosterone blocker. I never had to. My testosterone, once I got off of taking therapeutic testosterone, is just right down the drain. So, yeah, and my estrogen is like perfect. It's at like 165, which is perfect level.
So you think you were born this way?
I think there's been like hints, like going through therapy, there's been things that has helped me with hints about like, like I was always thin and lean and had abs when I was a kid, but I always had like puffy nipples. They never went away. And like, I was always embarrassed, like playing soccer, when we scrimmaged, it was shirts and skins, and I would always be embarrassed going on the skin side, because it was like, here's a skinny kid with like these puffy nipples that just looked, ugh. So yeah, it could have been, like, I mean, who knows? There's no real work into
Really being sure the baby gets what it needs in terms of nutrition is the most important thing. Yeah, I'd agree with that. My understanding is with Trilk, there is quite a lot we don't know anyway. But like, it's probably better than the kid starving to death. But it's not really the same as like their mother's milk, you know?
to it to say that you were or you weren't. I mean, you can go get your hormones checked. Maybe I have an extra X chromosome. Who knows? You know? So it's definitely not easy to determine.
And your romantic life now is doing well?
Currently single.
But I'm sure there are guys who are into, or women that are into, sounds like there are women that are into this.
Yes, I've had a partner for like the last 2.5 years. We were off and on, and during that off time, I actually dated a woman that I met on TikTok for like 5 months. So yeah, I mean,
Really going through them, isn't he?
there's plenty of women that are interested.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah, but I honestly don't think it's because of me being trans. I think it's because people just, I don't know. I think you're
certainly attractive, and you're interesting, and
I'm just me. Like, I don't try to be anybody else. I don't try to.
That's maybe the most attractive part of it.
Yeah, like I just tell it like it is.
That's awesome. You're in the right century to be doing this.
Yes, definitely.
And things are probably going to get better from here.
Maybe not. Who knows?
I can't imagine us going back to the 60s.
No, I couldn't either.
Not that the 60s were bad, but they were just not the right environment for people like you.
No, they weren't. And it's funny thing is like some people reach out to me that, you know, because a lot of people think that transgenderism is this new thing. And I've had transgender women reach out to me that are like 75, and they're like, "Yep,
Do you think this has always been around? It just wasn't safe to come out?"
Yep. I had a woman that was literally, she was 75 years old. She reached out to me and she told me that she transitioned in 1953. I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yep." I was like, "That's interesting."
Well, was it not safe to come out? It wasn't a trend. It wasn't the kind of spreading power of social media until more recently.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I would buy that, because I can remember as a kid seeing older men that were clearly not straight, but they just didn't make a big deal about it.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like everyone's proud to be gay, and
Yeah, proud to be gay, but then also everybody's also wants to be in everybody's business.
social media
Yeah, social media
has made that happen.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like when I told my ex-wife that I was finally going to come out and do this, I told her point blank. I said, "You watch." I said, "I'm going to help people." I said, "I'm going to help people." I said, "I'm going to save people's lives." I said, "And I'm going to."
Fucking hell, dude.
I told her point blank. I said, "You watch and do this." I told her point blank. I said, "You watch." I said, "I'm going to."
Wait, his ex-wife, which one?
Social media
Yeah, social media
has made that happen.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like when I told my ex-wife that I was finally going to come out and do this.
It must have been the most recent one because of the kid and stuff.
I told her point blank. I said, "You watch." I said, "I'm going to help people." I said, "I'm going to help people." I said, "I'm going to save people's lives." I said, "And I'm going to go public with this." I said, "I want people to know how I feel." I said, because I think it'll help.
Your mental, like your attitude, to me seems one of the healthiest of all the trans people I've interviewed.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Like really down to earth, normal. I can imagine just like
Normal.
having lunch with you and just having conversations about working out or about whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think being normal and being trans is a thing. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but how are you in any way normal if you are trans?
And not making it about the sexual thing that is such a huge part of that world.
Right.
Like really down to earth, normal. I can imagine just like having lunch with you and just having conversations about working out or about whatever.
Yeah.
And not making it about the sexual thing that is such a huge part of that world.
not making it about the sexual thing. That's a huge part of this world. But we've talked about like kink. We've talked about skinwalking ex-partners. I don't know.
Right. And like, I think the biggest misconception is that everybody thinks
Going on social media to save people's lives. That's like narcissist level shit. And I don't like calling people that.
that like I'm some new person. And it's like, I'm not. I'm the same person I was my whole life.
How was your family?
What's that?
How was your family reacted to it?
My older brother took some convincing because, like, you know, me and him were the closest out of each other. And, you know, I think he just couldn't understand because I hid it from him. All he saw was his little brother that joined the Marine Corps, then became this humongous, strong person. And, like, you know, we grew.
Do I think they seem pretty based? There's stuff I agree with, I guess. It's more the kind of person that I'm worried about than a lot of the stuff, a lot of the kind of gender stuff they say. There's stuff I agree with. I mean, there's stuff I agree with lots of people. It goes a bit further than that, you know.
Grew up building hot rods and, you know, doing manual labor. Like, you know, that was our upbringing. You know, we hung out together, played pool, drank beers, like fixed cars together, lifted together for years. Like, he couldn't fathom it. So it took him a little bit to understand, but that was it. And when I showed my mother a picture, my mother was just like, not surprised. I'm like, really? That's it? Yeah, whatever. I'm like, okay. It was never mentioned again.
So you joined the Marines at one point?
I joined the Marines at 18. Well, I was 17 when I signed the papers, so my parents had to sign for me. But yeah, I literally left the day we graduated. I got picked up by the recruiter that day.
You're an interesting cat. You're joining the Marines, becoming trans, but you're into women, sexual.
Yeah, never happens. Never happens. You almost never get straight men who are in the army and had kids and shit like that, then becoming trans. I can't tell if he's like being sarcastic.
Yeah.
It's like cliche after cliche. Wow, this is so interesting.
Awkward, different.
You're just different. It doesn't mean you're awkward. It doesn't mean doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It's just you're just unusual.
Yeah.
Which I think is wonderful.
Me too.
and you own it, which is really the most refreshing part of it.
Yes. You have to own it.
Yeah, if you're hiding it and in the closet about it, it
hurts. And that's what I did for so many years, you know, because like I didn't actually come out until I was 46 years old. So like the comparison to the Dave I used to be to the Daviana I am today has happened over the last 2 years. So
is your life better now?
It's happier. I'll tell you that. That's the best thing.
Did you feel like you didn't live your earlier years as well as you could have?
No, I feel like I'm proud of the things I've accomplished. Like joining the Marine Corps, like ever since I was a kid, I had this thing where I wanted to help people. Like I just always felt the need to help. So it was like, let's join.
Joining the U.S. Army is the last thing you do in that case, but fair enough.
Military. But part of me also was like, let's join the military and hope it beats whatever this is out of me. And so I was like, not going to join the Navy, not going to join the Army, the Air Force. Like, what's the hardest branch of the military?
Suddenly every decision they made and all these different thoughts they have, suddenly you come out in your 40s and everything gets recontextualized to be around this like trans thing that you never had words for and didn't really understand what it was. Well, then maybe it wasn't this then. Maybe this is a more recent thing.
Military, and like, it's the Marine Corps.
So you had an attitude at one point in your life where you wanted to change this, fix it, whatever?
It's not that I wanted to change it or fix it. It's that like I didn't know what it was.
Hey, kitty cat, we're not watching BreadTube today.
And I didn't have anybody telling me that this
You'd be pleased to know.
This is wrong. This is wrong. I didn't have anybody telling me like, you should go do this. I was surrounded by boys and men that were boys and men, and they were straight, and like that's what you do. So like I was like, this must be what I should do.
But 3-4 years ago you were presenting as a male.
Yep.
that was presenting as a male in public, but not in private. Yeah. So like I've been presenting in private as a female since, I don't know, 2012, 13, 2013.
Tell me about the difference between presenting as a male and a female.
Wait, I feel like the timeline is off here. It sounds like he's been cross-dressing for way longer than that.
Back then or now?
It's just whatever. I'm just fascinated with you're living as a woman now.
I mean, living as a woman.
In what? 48. So 20. What did you say?
Private. Yeah. So like I've been presenting in private as a female since, I don't know, 2012, 13, 2013.
Tell me
2013. What, 13 years ago? So mid-30s.
about the difference between presenting as a male and a female.
Back then or now?
It's just whatever. I'm just fascinated with.
Actually, he was raised as in the 30s. I mean, I kind of get it. Like, I grew up in like the 90s and the 2000s, and I do remember feeling like I was supposed to be a certain way because I'm a boy and shit. You know, I can relate to it in a way.
You're living as a woman now.
I mean, living as a woman now, having my features be softer and my body smaller. I mean, I went through 2 facial surgeries, breast augmentation, 2 years of hormones.
There we go.
Inside, way happier. Like I look in the mirror and I am pleased at what I look at. Like before, when I was, this big strength athlete, a strength coach, dad, all that stuff. It was like, I looked in the mirror and I wasn't pleased with what I saw here. And down here was just like, just get bigger and stronger, just get bigger and stronger, or just get leaner, one or the other. I was never pleased. Never, ever was I pleased with my body. So like that was a struggle.
Do you think any of that is it body dysmorphia that you would call it?
Yes. Yeah, I would say that's definitely a term. I think anybody that I think almost everybody has a little bit of body dysmorphia.
Sure.
Because everybody's unhappy with some point of that body. Nobody goes look in the mirror and goes, yeah, this is the best body ever. I love it. I'm getting to that point now where I look in the mirror and I'm like way happier. Like when I look in the mirror.
No, that's definitely true because I've dated women who have the most perfect bodies I've ever seen.
And they hate it. Yeah, I've had so many clients that way.
I asked them, like, when you wake up in the morning, do you just look in a full-length mirror and high-five yourself? Because, like, you can't do any better than this.
And those are the ones that hate their body the most.
No, they don't hate it, but they're just not perfectly happy all the time. And I think that attitude of not being perfectly happy with something is how you achieve that kind of Michael Jordan greatness or this perfect body or whatever it is.
Yep, I definitely agree with that. And, like, now it's like, when I get up in the morning and take a shower, whatever I do, and like when everyone's like, you put a full face of makeup on every day. I'm like, yes. They're like, what's your favorite part?
And you enjoy that?
I love it.
This was the shit. I used to do this too. I got fucking sick of it. I'm sorry. But then I guess this person can afford like FFS and stuff. They can take it a lot further.
The fact that I can get up in the morning and paint my face however I want to, like, feels great. It's like another part of my outfit, and it literally makes me smile to do it. It's
being a woman is more fun than a man.
Recontextualizing your earlier life. Yeah, I get that a lot. Like, I got that with like when I made a video about Helen Weberly, and she'd do all this kind of trans adults with children once, and they're saying that it was like this. It's like, well, you know that there's a chance that they're embellishing it, especially when they're talking to like a medical professional. But we all, like, so many of us do it to, like, try and validate being trans. When it's not really necessary. Like, you're living your life the way you are, regardless, It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how I felt as a kid, or what I think about how I felt as a kid. Or, like, if I had this thought once, and that totally means that I knew as a kid. Because you can't really know that you're trans. You just transition, and then you're trans. Like, you know when you're doing it. But, like, it's just unnecessary. It just sounds like we're trying to over-egg the pudding. No, it's a real thing, actually. It's a real thing, because I felt this way as a kid. Well, it's like, well, no one's ever going to know. I kind of wish more people would stop doing this, to be honest.
I wouldn't say it's more fun. I would say it's different. There's more options. There's more... Like, I feel like as a man, it was like, okay, we get dressed up nice today. So
instead of wearing jeans and sneakers or jeans and boots, I'm going to put on a suit and a suit jacket and a tie. Boo-hoo.
Navy black or
yeah,
gray.
you know, it's like, as a woman, it's like, all right, I can wear nice casual pants with some shoes or some flats, or I can wear a dress. You know, I can do my hair so many different ways.
You can wear colors.
You know, I can match my lipstick and my eyeshadow to my outfit, or I can contrast them. Like, I can change my nails. Like, it's just so much more to it that makes it that much more exciting. You can do much more as a woman when it comes to...
How many women actually feel this way? How many women really think this way almost any other time? Bearing in mind, we're doing this every single day, right? Like, don't most women just kind of put on some clothes and, like, go... like, I don't know, bro.
How you present yourself on the outside.
What would you say? Because I'm sure on social media you're going to get comments saying this guy's sick and, you know, this is demented and all that kind of stuff. What would you say to these people?
I'd say I'm probably the most not demented and the most sane, healthy person that's going through this that you're ever going to meet. Because,
really?
Like,
how are you going to say this? How are you going to say this? I'm the most sane trans person. Like, shut up.
You know, this is demented and all that kind of stuff. What would you say to these people?
I'd say I'm probably the most not demented and the most sane, healthy person that's going through this that you're ever going to meet. Because
that was douchey as fuck, man. Oh, nasty. Do not lie.
Like, I'm not trying to, like, hide who I was. I'm not trying to put that person in the past. Like, and I'm not trying to become a woman. I'm trying to become me. That's it. Like, and I'm not...
What does that even mean to say? I mean, obviously you're trying to become a woman, and that's okay. You can try to become a woman knowing that you're only ever going to become one in the eyes of people that see you as one. And that you can't literally change, like, your sex and stuff. That's fine.
Like, and I'm not trying to become a woman. I'm trying to become me. That's it. Like, and I'm not screaming at the top of a mountain, I am a woman, and you need to respect that. Like, I know I'm not a woman. Like, and I know no matter how much surgery or hormones I take, I can't be one. What I can be is as close to what I think I want to be, and just be me.
Which happens to be a woman, obviously. You want to be a hot woman. Just be honest. Just be honest, man.
And the version of me that has been screaming from the inside to the outside for years is femininity.
We went to such insane lengths to redefine trans that it's not about being a man that wants to be a woman or vice versa. I feel like that's still, like, the most accurate way of putting it. Like, you are your sex and you want to be the other one. There doesn't have to be anything wrong with that. But we have to make it this, like valid thing that we can pretend is, like, innate to people and stuff, when there's just no real evidence that it is. I feel like we've kind of made things worse by trying too hard to validate this whole thing. It doesn't need validating. If I'm going to live my life this way, I'm just going to do it, you know?
And the female appearance and the female look and the walk and, like, it just, I have no idea what a woman feels like. You know, I don't, and I never will. And I think if you were to ask a woman what it feels like to her to be a woman, I think the answers would be different depending upon who you asked. The same thing with men. Like, what's it feel like to be a man? Oh, I don't know. Like, it's a feeling that's inside you. Like, you can't actually put it to words unless you start talking about, like, anatomy. And then it's like, well, yeah, that's the definite things, but, like, what's the feeling? What's the emotion? And I think that's different for everybody, whether you're male or female. There is no one certain emotion that everybody has as a woman or as a man.
I absolutely want to see this person's female walk. I think they should demonstrate before the end of the video.
So, like, I'm just trying to be me, and I'm not trying to hide the fact that I used to be a man. It's just, this is who I am. You know, people ask me, what do you identify as? And I'm like, a human. Just call me Daviana. Like, that's it. That's just that simple. Too many people want to put labels on everything. Like, I don't need a label. Just call me Daviana.
But you're cool with your male body.
I mean, listen, that is preferable to insisting, oh, I'm factually a woman now, when you're like male, to be fair.
Sexual parts and things like that. You're not looking to fix that.
No,
Even though you've had breast augmentation.
Yeah, so I have had thoughts of it.
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely had thoughts of it. And I've done the research into it. I've talked to people that have had it done, some good, some bad. When I first started researching it about 6 years ago, the stories were more bad than good. Now they've kind of like people that do it recently. Stories I've heard are more good than bad. But one of the popular things that always came to my mind is like, I'm interested in women. So why would I cut it off to strap another one on? What's the point? I have one, it works, I like it, I enjoy it.
Your partners enjoy it?
Partners enjoy it, it functions.
If you didn't have it, your partners might be like...
Yeah, it's like funny, people always tell me, so you're a lesbian? I'm like, no. They're like, well, yeah, you are. I'm like, no, lesbian is a woman that's gay, I'm not a woman. But then you have those people that'll be like, oh no, you're a woman. And it's like, whatever, like, I don't really care. Like, you want to categorize me your way, go right ahead. I'm just Daviana. I mean... These
genes are absolutely abhorrent. I would feel like a fucking idiot. I'm in my 30s. I'd feel like a fucking idiot wearing these. I think above the age of about 22, they look a bit... I mean, they look ridiculous, whatever you're doing. But like, Jesus Christ, almost 50. What are these genes?
Like, I don't really care. Like, you want to categorize me your way, go right ahead. I'm just Daviana. I mean, on social media, I say I'm a trans woman because I think it helps other people with their mindset of what I'm doing with myself. Like, I'm not your typical trans person at all. And I don't speak for the trans community. I just speak for me. And that's it.
Yeah, you have a very healthy attitude about the whole thing.
I think this person does want to speak for so-called the trans community. I kind of get it in the sense of there's a lot of very deranged, like, more woke-leaning trans people out there. So you feel like you want to put something else out there. But then be honest, you are still speaking up as a trans person or whatever. You do want your voice to be in some way representative. You kind of have to if you're going to talk about all this kind of stuff.
And you have to.
It helps.
It definitely does help.
It helps. Do you have any regrets, like the way you handled the last 40 years or whatever?
Regrets? No, because...
Yeah, I hate ripped jeans, to be honest.
Like, if I didn't, like, wait, I wouldn't have my daughter. My daughter is the absolute love of my life. I mean, that was my biggest fear, was like, how am I going to tell my 6-year-old daughter that Dad wants to present this way?
How did she handle it?
Surprisingly, unbelievably well. Shocked the living daylights out, because I spent an extra 2 years going to therapy, just discussing with my therapist, like, how do we do this? We looked for all sorts of research all across the world to find someone in my position. Couldn't find anyone. And she told me she found like one person in like the UK, but he wasn't transitioning. He just wears feminine clothes. He's married, has kids, wears feminine clothes. Wasn't transitioning, wasn't changing his name. Literally, I think he was like a college professor or something. I think he's pretty popular. He wears skirts and nylons and high heels and goes and teaches, and he's pretty well known. But like, that's the only case. So she's been my biggest supporter.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. We've had a tight bond, like ever since she was a baby. She definitely was a daddy's girl. She's still a daddy's girl.
Her image of what a dad or what a man should be is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, like, she spent the first 6 years of her life growing up with a very big, strong daddy, and like, she still looks at me as a big, strong daddy. Like, she still calls me daddy. She still, like, she comes in the gym with me and like calls me weak every now and then. She tell me I'm getting fat. She's my little mini me. She looks just like me. It's amazing. I love her to death. Yeah, and she's surprisingly, like, she'll say little things here and there that will surprise you. Like if someone, what was it, last 4th of July? I think it was last 4th of July. We were driving through the streets and like taking a bunch of detours to get to where we wanted to go, and the streets were shut down. So there's kids on bicycles riding all around and stuff like that. And this kid like looked in at me, and I think it was like recently after my surgery, my face was swollen.
And like he was like, "What the hell are you anyway?" And like I just kept driving, didn't say anything. And then the windows were down, so my daughter heard it. And 3-4 minutes later, my daughter's like, "Daddy," I'm like, "What's up, babe?" And she's like, "I don't like that boy." I was like, "That's okay, babe. Don't worry about it. I don't like him either." And then like she'll say things like, if people will talk about like females or gender, like she'll be like, there's 3 women in the room right now, and I'm like, "It's okay, honey. You don't have to defend me. Like, it's all right." But like she doesn't, like she calls me daddy all the time, and she likes the fact, and I think she's seen how much happier I am. The first time we met some of her school friends on the playground, we went to a farm that had like an outdoor obstacle course, and I was presenting female. It was the summer after her last school year, and she comes off of the obstacle course and she's like, "Look who I ran into." And I was like, "Oh, hi." And we went over to see the moms, and the moms just looked at me. I was like, "Hi." They're like, "It's David, right?" I'm like, "Yep." I said, "You got any questions? Just feel free to ask." Like, "No, we're cool." And then like one of their daughters walked right up to my daughter, who was standing in front of me, and was like, "Why does your daddy look like a woman?" And without missing a beat, no hesitation at all, God bless this girl, she goes, "Because it makes him happy, and that's all that really matters." And I was just like, and they went, "Okay," and turned and ran away.
Man, everyone stood up and clapped.
I went to go play, and I just looked at the other 2 moms, and I was like,
They went off to play together?
yeah. I was like, "Did you guys
awesome.
just hear that?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Is she 6 or 18? Like, what the hell?" And she's just always been, as long as my daughter knows she loves me, like that
Okay then.
I love her, and like I'm always going to be her dad.
It's a way of being like, yeah, that sounded unrealistic, didn't it?
She has no issue with it, really. I mean, she was nervous at first, but talking her through it the whole bit, and like I made sure that she was on board every step of the way. Like a lot of people gave me crap in the beginning, and most of the crap I got was from other trans people online. They would like be like, "You haven't even changed your voice yet. You haven't changed your name yet. Like, you're not trans. You're not this. You're not that." And it's like, I wasn't gonna get into a battle with these people and be like, "Well, I haven't changed my voice yet because I'm working on it, and I don't know if I'm gonna get voice surgery, so I'm doing a little bit of therapy here and there. I haven't changed my name yet because my daughter's not okay with it. I haven't got breast augmentation yet because my daughter's not okay with it." And like my daughter told me step by step, even
My daughter's not okay with me getting a boob job. What? What? How the fuck did that one come up?
my name yet because my daughter's not okay with it.
Okay, haven't changed my name yet. My daughter feels weird about it.
I haven't got breast augmentation yet because my daughter's not okay with it.
How did that come up? Yeah, I'm not going to get a tit job because I asked my daughter and she said no. Like, what?
And like my daughter told me
It's just the weirdest fucking sentence I've ever heard in my life.
step by step, even to the point of like when it came to like getting rid of my boy clothes. Like everything was done at her pace because like I didn't want to just throw it all at her and have her be like,
I haven't had my cock inverted yet because I talked to my daughter about it and she was like, "No, I think you should just have a penis."
what the hell? Like we had a typical father-daughter like special day every day of the week. And she had one outfit that she loved.
I was going to say, does this mean this is the day that he has custody? But I think they said it was 50-50, so...
It was like a pair of like light gray slacks.
I mean, listen, if he isn't abusive and shit, then fair enough. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing.
Very faint pinstripes in them and black shoes and a pink button up. And every time we would go out, she wanted me to wear that same outfit. Like I literally would take this outfit to the dry cleaners like every week. And
it was pink.
Yeah, the top was pink, but like, like a, I don't know, like a salmon pink, like a man's pink, I'd call it.
Okay.
But she loved it. And like, that's the one thing I would do. So like one day after like, probably 3 or 4 months into it, I was starting to get rid of some of the extra boy clothes because I was already presenting every day as a woman. And
boy clothes. They always talk like this, boy clothes. Say men's clothes. He had men's clothes.
And
48. Why do they all do this?
The only time I saved my boy clothes was if she decided that like she wanted me to present
Like,
more.
I kind of got it in the other video. It's talking about like his daughter, and I guess he still is. It comes way too naturally, you know what I mean? Let's say men's clothes. Men's clothes. Oh, shit. I skipped backwards.
when I first started researching it about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, the stories were more bad than good. Now they've kind of sane.
No, it was
On board every step of the way. Like, a lot of people gave me crap in the beginning, and most of the crap I got was from other trans people online. You know, right now, and I'm like, it's okay, honey, you don't have to defend me. Like, it's all right. And I don't know if I'm gonna get voice surgery, so I'm doing. Yeah, I'm like, is she 6 or 18? Like, what the hell? And she's just always been a little bit of therapy here and there. And it's like, I wasn't going to get into a battle with these people and be like, well, I haven't changed my voice yet because I'm working on it, and I don't know if I'm going to get voice surgery, so I'm doing a little bit
again. We're working on it. I didn't know about this, man.
of therapy here and there. I haven't changed my name yet because my daughter's not okay with it.
Okay, so we had this bit.
Gold slacks with very faint pinstripes in them, and black shoes, and a pink button up. And every time we would go out, she wanted me to wear that same outfit. Like, I literally would take this outfit to the dry cleaners like every week. And
it was pink.
Yeah, the top was pink, but like, you know, like I don't know, like a salmon pink, like a man's pink, I call it.
Okay.
But she loved it, and like that's the one thing I would do. So like one day after, like, you know, probably 3 or 4 months into it, I was starting to get rid of some of the extra boy clothes because I was already presenting every day as a woman. The only time I saved my boy clothes was if she decided that like she wanted me to present more male, because like I was on hormones, but I hadn't had any surgery yet. You know, I was still big. I hadn't had any, no surgeries, no surgery, and the hormones didn't really take effect yet. And she comes in the room. She says, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just getting rid of some of these clothes. I don't wear that much anymore." And she's like, "Oh." She's like, "Can I help?" I'm like, "Sure." First thing she reached into the closet was for that favorite outfit. Put it in the trash bag. We're giving everything to Salvation Army. I was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I was going to save that for daddy-daughter days." She goes, "No." She goes, "You don't need to dress like a boy anymore, Daddy." I was like, "Really? Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." And that was it.
But no boob jobs, though. And then the 6-year-old stood up and quoted Nietzsche. Definitely.
Wonderful daughter.
Yeah. And like step by step, like even my name changed. It was like, "Do I look feminine enough for you? Like, can we change the name now?" And she's like, "Not yet." A couple months later, she came right up to me. She goes,
Is that not the inference, though? Come on. We said name and then tit job. And now he's talking about, "Oh, well, I'm feminine enough. Can I change my name yet?" There is an inference that he's also been, like, literally talking to his kid about whether he should get a tit job or not. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, come on.
"Okay, you can change your name now." I was like, "Okay, thanks."
It's great that you have such a good relationship with her.
Yeah. Try to.
But still no boob job.
Let me ask you a question that I ask almost everybody I interview. What would you say, Daviana, is the most important thing you've learned in your life?
The most important thing I've learned in my life. Take a step back and learn to be kind and tolerant. Let people live their life.
Parentification. Is that like the kid becoming the parent in some way?
As long as it doesn't affect you. Like,
I try and be careful. I'm not a parent myself, you know.
Be kind to them, no matter how different they are. Like, there's going to be different people all over the place. There's no need to hate them. Like, you know, like, obviously, like, there's going to be people that, you know, get in fights and assault and stuff like that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just, like, people in general. Like, I don't ask anybody to accept me as a woman. I don't ask anybody to call me certain pronouns. I'm a human being that's going to treat every human being with respect. All I ask for is that same respect back. And when you see someone...
Like I said, we have some like agreements. I think some of it is probably better than the way a lot of trans people do it. But like just having a sensible position here and there, it doesn't automatically means, okay, now I have to kiss your ass. I can't see any other issues, you know.
That is uncomfortable, or someone that is like having a bad day and they decide to lash out at you. Instead of lashing back, take a minute to take a step and realize they might just be having a bad day. Let it go. It's not worth it. It's not worth your energy. Like, just be kind. Like, the most important thing I've learned is to be kind and be accepting. And like, there's no need to be mean. There's none. It takes effort to be mean. It takes no effort to be kind. That's I would say the biggest thing that I've learned, and to let things go.
have your boundaries.
Let things go, but also if you get trolled by some shitter, make up stories or potentially tell stories, I don't know if it's true or not, about your ex abusing you. How nice.
Boundaries, and be happy with your boundaries, but respect other people's boundaries. And if someone crosses your boundary, be respectful and letting them know. It's pretty much like the biggest thing that I've learned in all of my life. Like, you can change yourself, but you can't change anyone else. So keep that in mind.
That's probably the best answer to that question that I've heard yet. Yours and Mike Dowd's. The best answer to that question ever. Daviana, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're interesting as can be.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Keep it up. What's your social media?
He already said he likes women, dude. Come on.
So Facebook is still, they won't let me change my name, so it's David Memont.
David what?
David Memont.
How do you spell that?
Memont.
There you go.
YouTube is Daviana 78, and TikTok is Common Sense Life Coach, which a lot of people like. Common sense, look at you, and I'm like, listen to me before you judge that one. And then Instagram is Daviana One and Only.
Yeah, I'm still not sure about that.
That's it.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're something else.
Jesus Christ, it's like the fucking the Keffels thumbnail again. I do want to quickly kind of see what they're up to on TikTok. That seems to be where they're most active. And then I'll probably watch the Essence of Thought thing about getting divorced, and then I'll probably end, because I have shit to do. And yeah, there's a part 2 to that, but it's paywalled, so I guess we don't get to see it. So I don't know. Can't be that important then, I guess. Ooh, that is not the right person.
Okay, try to keep up. I am a 47-year-old biological man. I am been on hormones for a year, a little over a year. I just had my boobs done. I've had one facial surgery. I am not going to have bottom surgery. I'm going to do one more face surgery on the bottom of my chin. I am transitioning to look as much like a female as...
Not let me pause. Have we had a boob job or not? Can I please? I think this was the video that like got kind of big, because it's just, you don't hear many trans people saying this, which is kind of sad that makes someone like exceptional in any way, but it is what it is. But I thought we didn't have any boob jobs.
7-year-old biological man. I am been on hormones for a year, a little over a year. I just had my boobs done. I've had...
Where was it? Okay.
Here and there. I haven't changed my name yet because my daughter's not okay with it. I haven't got breast augmentation yet because my daughter's not okay with it.
I had one facial surgery, boobs done. I just had my boobs done. I've had one...
I mean, I don't know what it means. I had my boobs done, but that's kind of weird, no? Like, why lie about that later on? Or why lie about it now? Depending.
Facial surgery.
Very strange.
Okay.
Why I'm not getting bottom surgery? Wow.
Hear me out. You're going to like it. Let me reintroduce myself. I am Daviana. Legally had my name changed. I am a 48-year-old, what you would call a trans woman. But what am I? I'm a biological man living my true happy self.
which means I've had 2 facial feminization surgeries. I've had breast augmentation. I've been on estrogen and progesterone for the last 2 years. I understand that.
Is Rebecca a trans woman?
I am a biological man. I also know in my heart of hearts and in my soul of soul that I wish I was a woman. I can't be, I want to be, wish I could be, but I can't be. This is called mental sanity. Understanding that I can never be a woman, but I'm going to live my life and present it as the way that it makes me feel the happiest. Okay, hear me out. Let your kids fart on you. So. Hi. So just remember that whenever you're having a shit day, just.
I was muted. I was just asking if we still think the best path. Dark outgrow. Yeah, it looks like it. Maybe it's in effort to pretend that he does have hair and he dyes it, because like why would you have that? But we know why you'd have it because we just said so. That'll be about software underbelly, I guess. Oh wait, no, that's that weird song someone sent him. Someone sent him a AI song. It's like, oh my god. Best hair day. Okay, man. Okay, man. I don't know if there's much interesting on here, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. This looks like boring as fuck influencer shit. Not really very interesting. But hey, listen. Yeah, I want to see what the essence of thought thing was. Apparently they are divorced and back in the UK now.
I am not going to be.
So this person is essence of thought. They are a complete lol cow, even by trans standards. They had this long running feud with someone called Rachel Oates. They had some drama where someone else did a video on the same subject as them. And then this person was like threatening, like they wanted some of the money that this person made. Or they were like threatening, I can't even remember what now. The point is, it was like psycho shit. Absolutely bizarre. They more recently stopped harassing women on the internet and just made like, you know, TRA content instead. There's like a lot of stuff about JK Rowling, that kind of stuff. There's this absolutely terrifying video right here.
Mentality of someone who can.
Like, what the fuck is happening here? What the fuck is going on? Right, look at this. We got the choker. We've got this choker, which, if I had my way, everyone who owns a choker like this would be legally required to burn it until there's nothing left. I fucking hate these chokers, and like so many trans women, like, you know, male transitioners, whatever, insist on wearing them. This appears to be a bit too small. Hang on. I'm so sorry to do this, but I do need to zoom in. It looks like it's too small Because it like the neck is like pressing on it. Hang on. Like, doesn't it look? Usually what happens is it kind of gets pushed forward by like the Adam's apple, meaning it actually really doesn't help you pass. Like, trans women think if they wear chokers that it pulls attention away from the Adam's apple. But then usually it gets yanked forward by the Adam's apple, and you can see that, so it kind of draws attention. But in Essence of Thought's case, I think their neck is so thick that it's actually like filling it up and then some. It looks like there's overspill, you know? Can you see what I mean? It looks like it's digging in slightly. So this is terrifying on its own. We've at least tried with the eyebrows and the makeup and whatever. I mean, someone this ugly, this is a non-starter. This is just a non-starter. Just I don't even know why you transition looking like this, to be honest. We've got whatever the fuck this is. Like, this outfit is really something. They're really trying for a look that is just never going to work for them, doing all this. Usually they just wear like a t-shirt. But they went all out with this insane look. Maybe this is what happens when his wife's not around, I guess, because apparently he's divorced now. I don't even know what this is. I couldn't care less. They make a lot of videos about shit where it's like, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares, man? Got the choker here as well.
Stephen Fry.
And these insane... What are these... Dude, what are these contact lenses? You look fucking weird. What are these contact lenses? Ugh. No, sorry. I know I'm supposed to be watching the video, but like I just wanna see what the fuck's going on here. So the choker's a regular feature now. No, don't like this. They were wearing the contacts for a decent while. I don't quite get why you'd need to pretend that you've got a different eye color to what you do. There's this thing about the Epstein files. I don't remember that being anything. Like, you know, these rich people, they all fucking know each other. Wow, amazing. And before this, it was the cartoon thing. It's like weird happy mask salesman thing that just changes like expression and sometimes looks fucking berserk for no reason. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Anyway. So this person has made a video called So My Life Ended. Apparently they have become divorced from their wife in India and had to come back to the UK. I know, man. Let's see.
Be going into every small detail. I am not going to be going into every small detail about what was done to me. I just want to be upfront with that. This isn't past trauma. This is stuff I am currently living through, and I'm unsure as to how much I want to share right now. Keeping it simple, I have separated with my wife and made the decision to return to the UK. Whilst I planned...
Gender critical is child abuse. All their videos are like this. All their videos make like insane grandiose claims. It's like peak like shitty TRA content.
To do so over 2 months, that quickly became less than 2 weeks. Time which was spent sorting a small supply of HRT, saying goodbye to as many friends as possible, and packing as much as I could carry before flying back. Now, I am
They were kicked out like very short notice. What happened?
Keenly aware of what I have returned to. Anyone familiar with this channel knows the news I cover. Doctors...
Yeah, they crash out about shit going on in the UK. The UK is not that bad for being trans in. I'm really sorry. The wait times suck. Probably could be a lot better. We don't have Donald Trump as our fucking president. It's really not that bad. And this person hasn't lived in the UK for like ages.
Stripping trans people of HRT, including adults who have undergone gonadectomies, the murder of trans youth and...
The worst thing is, I know what they're talking about. I experienced some of this, but it's not like... Like, literally what it was is that there's not enough follow-up from, like, gender clinics, and the government was starting to crack down. So there were, like, GPs that didn't know why some of their patients were even on HRT and stuff like that. Like, everything they talk about in terms of, like, how bad things are for trans people in the UK, it's going to be some completely essentialized, like, agendified version of what's actually going on, which some of it has been very inconvenient. And I know, because I've been caught up in it. I'm trans, I live in the UK. I know some of this. Like, I've lived through some of this shit. But it's a very trumped up version of things. Like, this is just how they talk about everything.
Trans prisoners, the introduction of the
I hope we do hear from Isaac.
updated EHRC code of practice.
Yeah, meant fuck all. You're not a woman, you never will be. Sorry about it.
I am under no illusion as to just how fucked things are for trans people in the UK right now.
Really not that fucked.
The Lemkin Institute issued its second
The Lemkin Institute are fucking idiots. See what I mean? They listen to, like, the fucking Lemkin Institute. Is this from last year? Yeah, it will be. It's about the EHRC thing. The Lemkin Institute are fucking idiots. They want a reason to exist. There's not much going on in the world of genocide, apparently. Somehow Gaza and Sudan don't matter that much. So they're also jumping on this trans genocide bullshit. It's complete nonsense. I have a video on it from last year. Trans genocide, complete fucking wank. Everything this person is talking about is just nonsense. Right here.
genocide warning a few weeks back, labeling the EHRC's guidance, quote, genocidal in nature.
That's fucking retarded.
End quote. And yet I still chose to come back. And that's before we even get to the more general stuff, such as my living costs tripling or even quadrupling depending on whether...
Oh, he's gonna ask for money. He's gonna ask for money in this. He's gonna ask for money. I fucking bet. I
ever want to retire.
He's done this before. We'll see if we can find it.
My entire life as I knew it for the past 9 years has just ended in the span of a couple weeks.
That is, like, bizarre, though. Something must have happened. You're married to someone. One of them must have, like, cheated or something. Or one of them found something out about the other that they didn't know before, and it was something quite extreme.
So, what comes next? My current plan is to sign on to the electoral register where I'm currently staying with my parents, get on the NHS, do my deed poll, and start applying for a second job since I'm going to need one if I'm to survive. But all that's...
You need 2 jobs living with your parents?
Going to take time, and I've already burned through so much money. So...
On what?
Any support would be greatly appreciated right now, particularly financial support. That's whether it's on Patreon or a once-off via PayPal. It'll all help me rebuild my life here as I try to get my shit sorted.
Oh, it's so fucking nasty. This person has one of those, like, parasocial audiences that they can just reach into the piggyback. Oh, guys, I'm literally dying. I live with my parents and I only have one job. When he says one job, he means this, by the way. They've done this before. It's disgusting. Like, I don't know, man. I make fuck all. I'd feel I couldn't do this kind of thing. It's the same. It's like the Innuendo Studios type shit. Like, they made this.
This has been...
They made this, like, manipulative as fuck video, like, over a year ago. They do, like, a fundraiser. They got a bunch more people to sign up to their Patreon. Where is it? They show all these different people that left their Patreon, and now they're, like, struggling. When this person doesn't work, his wife does, I think, but he doesn't. I remember watching this, fucking vile. But where's the Patreon? Okay, it's here. So $469.70 a month is not very much to live off it. I don't know where his parents live. I don't know if he's expected to pay rent where his parents live. I don't know what kind of living expenses you have living with your parents. Probably not a huge amount. Like, talking about getting a second job, well, it'd be a first job, presumably, because this is your job. Does this count as a job? I don't know. But I don't think they're monetized. You can't join their channel. I think Patreon is the main income. And I mean, getting okay views occasionally, but for the most part, it's like, you're not making much off of AdSense, you know, let's put it that way. I don't know how else. I think that's the only way that you can pay them. But yeah, the money grubbing shit is fucking nasty to me. You know, someone like this, they know they have this kind of parasocial audience. They know if they cry about their life situation a bit, a bunch of them will like feel sorry for them and want to give money. It was a real epidemic in like BreadTube over the past couple of years.
More specifically, the money will go towards paying off some debts, like for the flights, switching over my HR.
Got into debt.
Replacing lost equipment, and hopefully, as is the end goal, save some money towards moving in with a couple of friends in a few months. As for YouTube, I will be
They're joining a polycule, aren't they? They're going to be T for T.
Continuing my work here. I already have the next script written and edited.
Well, listen, this is the thing. Stop YouTube and find a different job. Well, how many videos are we even making? Like, what is it, 2 a month? 2 hours ago, then 3 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 3 months ago, 3 months ago. At one point, it was 1 a week. But there's been a lot of gaps. So in the time it's taking them to make videos, what the fuck else are they doing with their time? Like, I'm sorry, Matt, it doesn't take this long. It doesn't take this long to make the odd shitty fucking JK Rowling video. To make fucking weird propaganda about the government killing trans kids because they had to wait a while and because they banned puberty blockers. It doesn't take that long to make this kind of thing. So they have ample time to get a job and work it and still make videos every few weeks, you know?
It's the one about Finland's conversion clinics masquerading as gender-affirming clinics. I tried to record it a couple times back in India, only to break down crying each time I saw myself on camera. So I still need to record and edit that. I then have to write the follow-up as it's a two-parter. After or even between those two videos, I'll probably do a few shorter pieces. I know I still want to do the Fox Yale Rail video and expand things into my personal channel, but I'm not sure if I should because that channel's currently not monetized, meaning I'd effectively be doing more work for less money. So I'll have to figure that one out.
It's just so fucking preposterous, dude. People who are watching go out and fucking graph. You know what I mean? It's fine to make the choice that you don't want to go and work in a fucking shop and deal with shitters all day. And instead you want to make videos and settle for earning like a fraction of what you would in a real job. But then don't whine about it. Don't whine about all the work you have to do and shit. Like, no one wants to hear that, you know? No one wants to hear you complain about all this shit you have to do and how busy you are and stuff. You make videos, bro. You make videos. You sit at home all day.
But any financial support right now would be amazing. Though
it's so nasty. It's so nasty.
A part of me feels unworthy, especially after the Patreon relaunch last year. But
the Patreon relaunch, yeah. The Patreon relaunch.
In trans and leftist communities, that things would heal. I am just a random trans YouTuber to most people. But
I can't. Jesus Christ! I can't remember what the funniest bits of this video were, but it's like it's manipulative as fuck.
Here's the thing: after we paid off our debts in 2025, and I had a really good second half of the year on AdSense, I immediately helped others out. The moment I went,
what really? What? Bro, if you can't stand on your own 2 feet, why are you like... I mean, helped others out. I don't. Do we believe this? I don't know.
In that sense, I immediately helped others out.
It was like community support kind of shit. But I don't know. I don't know. Why are you doing this if you're struggling yourself? You gotta make sure your own shit is okay. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up taking money back from people that probably themselves can't afford it.
The moment I went from struggling to having excess, given our circumstances living in India,
Didn't fucking bother saving any money.
I paid.
Yeah, I wonder why your wife left you. I wonder why your wife left you. Couldn't even be fucked to like save a bit of money to make sure you're okay if things get difficult again. Like, that's nuts. You work as a YouTuber. You know that it's going to be up and down. You've got a Patreon that's been up and down. Why would you just piss money away like that? It's so mad.
Paid it forward to a lot of different causes.
That's fucking retarded.
Because that's what a community does.
Also, if you're going to be begging for money from people for nothing, then you should show fucking receipts of this, quite frankly. You should show. Or better yet, stop fucking asking people for money and just tell people to donate to the shit that you would be donating to. You live with your parents, bro. Oh, this is actually making me mad. I hate, like, when these people beg for money, none of them ever break down their finances and show why it is that they should be asking people for money. You know what I mean? Like, you should be showing your finances. How do we know it's not just going on shit? How do we know it's not just going on fucking pop figures and shit like that? Fucking Pokemon plushies.
I don't know what the next few months are going to bring. It's possible that after more than a decade, I'll have to hang up my human rights activism to focus on a more typical job. But I don't want to give up. I want to fight to keep doing this for as long as I can, however I can. I not only deserve to feel safe and secure, but to feel happy and achieved. And
What does that even mean?
can do that together. So again,
we can do that together. Oh, I hate this person. I hate this person. I can't fucking stand it.
any support, whether through Patreon or PayPal, really goes a long way.
How many calls to action for free money now?
You can also help by
show some fucking receipts. Show some receipts. Show proof of you personally giving money over to starving Gazan children, and then I'll believe you.
share my work when it comes out or dropping a like and comment on it. I'm going to try and build a new life, a better life. Thank you for all the support now and over the past decade and a half.
Wow. Wow. Was there anything else fun on here? I can't remember. I haven't watched this fucking loser in ages. Graham Linehan pedo jackets Stephen Fry. But then made a whole video about trans people not liking Stephen Fry. Wow, amazing. But yeah, it's like slop, you know. Yeah, what was this again? What was this again?
But what I can do,
This was them doing the exact same shit a year ago, e-begging.
this has been a long time coming. I first thought about making this video back in September of 2023, just after we'd lost $119 on Patreon, yet ultimately decided to hold off until I was done with our series regarding the events of 2019. That way, I could get back to making the videos I wanted to make and rebuild our audience. Then, sometime in September of 2024, after losing another $90 on Patreon over the span of about 3 months, I took these screenshots in preparation to make that video, yet I didn't feel like I could at the time, especially not with all the support you'd given us when our previous landlord kicked us out with just 2 weeks' notice. It felt as if asking for more support on Patreon would seem ungrateful, especially as I hadn't really gotten back
Heading off criticism
into the swing of things. So I decided to wait until I'd been posting regularly before doing so. That is why, after a successful few months of putting out videos on a weekly basis, I opened up a script and managed to write a single line right before my worktop died, forcing us to fundraise for that. Which, by the way,
Here's the thing, save some money instead of pissing it away giving your friends money to move house. Let them sort their own shit out.
Incredible. I really cannot overstate just how grateful I am for that support.
You don't like this person's speaking cadence. What's wrong with it?
But it did leave me once again feeling like I couldn't ask for more without sounding ungrateful. So I decided to hold off for another few months. Then, just the other week, Ian Danskin of Innuendo Studios published a video talking about monetary struggles and the possibility of going bankrupt, and I told myself I should probably wait a bit in case people feel like I'm trying to bandwagon off of him. And it's at that point that I just had to stop myself. I could keep putting this conversation off forever, or at least until another thing breaks, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to stay quiet about our finances until I can no longer replace essential equipment, or even face the prospect of being homeless. I need to talk about this to try and put things back on the right track. Starting with the current situation, our Patreon has more than halved in the last few years. Starting in March of
This went back up again. And that was when he's saying, oh, instead of saving money, I just pissed it away. And now his wife left him.
2019, so before our first video during the breakout of transmisia within the Seeker community that year, we were bringing in $652 a month. This took a bit of a beating around September.
By the way, February 2020. So yeah, they kind of peaked. And then they started getting into all that insane drama with that Rachel Oates person, where it just looked like they were harassing a random woman on the internet for like years and years on end. And people slowly, gradually got sick of that shit and started unsubscribing. Like, it's not complicated. They never mention once their own like behavior contributing to any of this thing.
Dropping us down to $563, but it healed back up to $673 by March of 2020. This is when the slow decay began. By August of 2023, we dropped down to $498, which then plummeted to $379 that September. This happened whilst Adita had been left unemployed because of government restrictions placed on the United Nations, which was a major source of funding for human rights organizations across India. 1 week, Adita was traveling between states, interviewing victims in order to help develop new training programs. The next, she was out of the job. This, coupled with that sharp drop-off, is why I approached my dad, asking if we could borrow $100 a month to make up for that shortfall, just until Adita could find a job. We had no idea.
Just until she could find a job. Yeah.
Just how long that would take at the time. We did manage to build back up to 430.
Either David Attenborough or Jeremy Clarkson is who he's trying to emulate. Probably a bit of both.
$5 by June of 2024, only for that to plummet back down to $343 by September, which is why I took those screenshots to make this video. That's why I began adding, and we cannot survive without your support.
Who was the guy that was like, leaving someone's Patreon is financial abuse? I don't think it was Essence of Thought. I can't remember. Someone was saying that kind of shit.
To the opening of each video. I'd hope that as I put out regular videos focusing on external issues, rather than
Yeah, I'd imagine like 500-ish a month probably went quite far. Yeah, $500 goal. I think that was for regular income as well. I don't think, did they do a fundraiser as well? Yeah, not sure. So yeah, they got to almost $700 on Patreon. I guess it's probably around there still, because it was in pounds for me and it was around 500.
conflict within trans and leftist communities, that things would heal. Yet they didn't. In fact, they continue to get worse, with Patreon dropping below $290. So stepping back to look at the big picture, we've gone from $650/$670 a month down to $290 a month, less than half of what we once made.
Could sound genuine. There is no way that this wasn't scripted. Well, no, it was literally the script is here. This is like autistic, like script reading voice. Like, I guess I do it a bit myself, but you know, I'm less autistic than this person. You can even read the script of this video. Crazy. Crazy.
To see your income shrink month by month, sometimes in small nuggets, sometimes in huge chunks, is fucking terrifying.
Terrifying.
Feels like I'm standing on a ledge which is slowly crumbling beneath my feet.
Guys, I'm literally going to die. Give me money.
It's one of those things that forces me to lay awake in bed at night, staring blankly at the ceiling,
having those intrusive thoughts where it's like, well, you really should just do something a bit more profitable than YouTube. You know, you're really not owed an income on YouTube, and rather than rinsing your parasocial audience, you probably should just make some money for yourself. That's what's keeping you awake, right?
Just dreading any and all future notifications on Patreon. Now, I just want to be clear, I am not upset at any of the people who drew their pledge. The number one reason for doing so was changing financial situations.
That's what they're telling you, you know.
This was explained in the exit surveys in 2024, as seen via the screenshots I took at the time, and remains true to this day. But this is something I need to draw attention to, as I just can't live like this. I can't live on a nice edge. I need to bring in enough to start replacing equipment, get on HRT, and save a little in case something terrible happens. Something I should be clear on is that Adita has found herself a job in the meantime, though it took her over a year and a half due to the current job market. She now works in a tech service call center, 10 hours a day, not including the 3 to 4 hours of daily travel on top of that.
Does she ask old American people for gift cards? Is that what it is?
She literally gets out of bed, leaves, works.
10 hours a day as well, Jesus.
Comes back.
I wonder why she left him.
We sit down to eat together whilst watching a single episode of something, and then goes back to sleep. That is her daily routine, all for a whopping $200 a month. So just enough money that it replaces what my dad was lending us and the money lost since September of 2023. So even with the job, we haven't made any ground. We're right where we started and can't even begin to think about saving anything. That's why we had to fundraise.
They can't think about saving anything. But then they do this and they get a bunch more money coming in Patreon. And they don't save any of that either. It's so fucking annoying. You were never gonna save anything. You're gonna give it out to your mates who are telling you whatever sob stories about having mean parents and needing to leave. Or, oh, I can't afford my HRT this month. And you give it out so that people, you can go around saying, oh, I'm such a good person, you know, I help trans people in the community. But then you just need like your own ass save later down the line. So like, why?
When my worktop died, in spite of knowing that it was coming for more than a year. And I can't keep living like that. I can't keep worrying that the next thing to break will be the last. The thing that ends us. This channel, my
Squeeze out that tear, come on.
career. I have looked into getting another job. Yeah,
Another job.
seeing Edita's job situation, given that she has experience working at international level human rights organizations, yet she's had to get a job
Could mean anything.
outside her field that severely underpays for the hours she does, tells me that there's not a chance in fucking hell for me. She's worked for both UN Women and UNICEF. Me? I'm a disabled YouTuber. How the fuck do I market myself to a potential employer when I'm up against people of her experience who are also struggling? The one saving grace over the holidays has been AdSense. We've had a couple of good videos, particularly the Rowling versus John Oliver one, money that immediately went into paying taxes, renewing our medical insurance, and AC maintenance. And whilst I hope that keeps up for now, many of you likely already know that AdSense is incredibly fickle. One minute it feels like it's improving, and then the next it feels like the algorithm has a personal vendetta against the channel. In particular, I've noticed YouTube seems to be suggesting older videos less and less. I'm not sure if that's just a result of how many new videos are uploaded daily, or whether it's just the algorithm that's been updated to more aggressively push new things at the expense of the old, but the result is the same either way. It used to be that every now and then, an old video would get a second wind, bringing in a little extra money, but that no longer happens, at least not for me. YouTube is my full-time career. It has been since I finished my degree in 2017, though I've been running this particular channel since September of 2011. I survived Gamergate, the secular community transmedia outbreak of 2019, and the
What was that?
the secular community transmedia outbreak of 2019.
The secular community transmedia, aka transphobia outbreak. You survived that. What do you mean you survived that? You didn't delete your channel during. Okay, wow. Wow. Incredible. Well done. Well done. You're a true warrior.
2019 and the adpocalypse. I survived so much shit.
But bear in mind, he's talking about the state of the job market in India. I have no idea what it's like. I don't live in India. It doesn't stop him talking about what it's like in the UK for trans people constantly. AKA his audience is full of the kinds of people that take every tiny thing in the worst way possible and then feed back to him that the UK is TERF Island and it's, you know, trans genocide central and shit.
Yet I am terrified that both the channel and myself are quickly circling the drain without any
Yeah, this is the cycle. Oh, my channel's falling apart. I'm not making any money. Help me. Then they get some help. And then just something else happens. Oh, now this has happened. Help me. It's gross. You're a leech. You're a fucking leech. You'd rather like piss your money away to look good with your friends who are probably also like making terrible financial decisions. And now you want to cry about it. Like, I don't give a fuck that someone is choosing to only earn like £500 a month doing YouTube videos because it's easier than a real job. Of course it fucking is. Like, even being in that situation is like not that bad, depending on, you know, depending on your overheads or whatever shit. But it's like, if you're choosing to do that, then don't fucking cry about your living situation. Don't cry about your finances. Because most people go out and do shit they don't want to do. You're not doing that. That's fine, but don't fucking cry about it. And don't act entitled to other people's like money and shit.
way back. Which is a big fucking shame, since there's still so much we have to do. The trans community is on fire, both in the UK and the US. We need the public to be equipped to fight now more than—
They're acting as if making these shitty videos is some kind of public service. It's not. Imagine if I did that. Oh yeah, actually no, I'm trying to save trans people. I'm trying to save trans people doing this. I'm trying to talk sense into the trans community and make it so that people don't hate us anymore. Imagine if I went around acting like that. It's so conceited.
Than ever. That means we need people who can spend their work hours researching, processing, and distributing information to those of us with less time. I think our research here is important. We break down studies, we watch and report on key threats to the community, we debunk common anti-trans myths, and we explain how the gender-critical movement, formerly known as the TERF movement, operates. We produce an average of 3 to 4 videos a month, all fully referenced in
not anymore,
in order to give you, the viewer, the ability to check all things yourself and expand your knowledge. We also refuse to sanitize topics for corporate greed or the sensitivities of violent bigots who will never support us. When we uncover abuse, we label it for what it is without hesitation. We do so because we are survivors ourselves. We know what it's like to have the violence you suffered trivialized as a means of being denied justice. This has led some to label us alarmist or hyperbolic, like when we first called out the anti-Semitism and broader fascism, not to mention the sexualization of minors, inherent to the gender-critical movement.
Inherent? What do you mean inherent? That's fucking nuts.
Though I have to say, I feel we've been absolved of any accusations of exaggerating at this point.
Okay, man. Yeah, you're not even exaggerating anymore. Okay, man. Okay, man.
We also advocate for groups that so few are willing to support. Intersex folk, xenogender folk, trans men and trans masks.
Most intersex people hate you.
Those with cluster B disorders, plural folk. We set up Plural Kit in our Discord server, and we've had several plural folk tell us that they're surprised to see it there because most server owners refuse to set it up. Our
what a good guy.
Discord community is also the only place we know of that truly has zero tolerance for ableism, even the socially acceptable kinds. For some people,
well,
our
calling you a retard.
Spaces are one of maybe 2 or 3 public spaces where they feel accepted. I hope you can see the worth in that, even if I struggle with doing so at times. I often feel like an imposter, someone who walked into things and doesn't deserve any of the support I do receive. I regularly have to stop and remind...
He definitely gets those intrusive thoughts. There is a part of him that knows that this is really not the way.
...myself of some of the good we've done, affirming myself throughout the day.
You really have to convince yourself that you're entitled to other people's money.
Half a dozen people. That's how many have told me at one point or another that my work is among the reasons they are still walking on this earth.
Fuck yourself.
Half a dozen people who would be dead, walking around, living their lives thanks to us. About a dozen more have told me that my strength in the face of violence and bigotry has in turn given them the strength to finish their degree, leave a toxic workplace, or escape an abusive household. I can't even begin to
having a parasocial as fuck audience is good, actually.
Estimate how many have told me that my work here gave them the tools to go out and convince family members or work colleagues that trans people are not the monsters they've been led to believe we are. That last bit, by the way, that is why we do what we do. Our primary objective here on the channel. That is why I get out of bed.
Trans representation. Fuck me, dude.
In the morning.
This person has a fucking horrible reputation.
I know I'm not the most charismatic. I don't pass. I'm unabashedly autistic. I just don't appeal to many cis people, particularly small-time bigots. I know that I'm not going to have some grand sweeping effects on the perceptions of trans people by general society. I am just a random trans YouTuber to most people. But what I can do is equip those of you watching with the tools to be advocates. Because the arguments we present here, taken and presented by you, whether you're another trans person or ICS ally, will have a much greater impact in changing the minds of fence sitters and even these small-time bigots in your life. That is our primary goal here, and I would hope that that is something worth supporting. I'm not asking for...
People willingly listen to this utter shit. Although, I do appreciate a bit of philosophy tube snark.
Thousands or even tens of thousands a month like some YouTubers. I don't expect nor want a luxurious lifestyle. I just want to be able to stop being afraid of what's coming. I just want to be able to begin HRT and enjoy the small things in life while saving a little for when things go bad. I just want to see some return on the work I do each and every day. I've previously mentioned that my therapist helped me devise a new system of keeping track of my work hours. That was not because I was underworking.
I guess this is part of their work as well, and they're not just writing and making fucking videos. There's endless retweets of like trans slop on fucking Blue Sky. For the few thousand people that use Blue Sky. Queer AF. Like, is this in any way distinguishable from every other TRA feed on Blue Sky? If I go on Sophie Molly, here we go. If I go on Sophie Molly's Blue Sky, is there any difference? Is there any difference at all? Like Erin Reed, Queer AF, we had Good Law Project. Like constant stream of dumb shit. It's the same. They're all the same person. I mean, this person actually does their own posts occasionally. It doesn't just repost things. Reposting Frida Wallace. I haven't seen Frida in chat today. I mean, the zero advocacy for women and girls. I mean, Maya Forstater had a free speech case. Free speech is for everyone. It's all the same shit. What does this person even do? Voting Labour is a vote for genocide. Like, withdrawing healthcare and introducing state-sponsored conversion therapy. Well, the puberty blockers ban was the Tories. Why are these people so fucking retarded? I don't know, man. I'm trying not to get, like, super radicalized against fucking TRA types again. And just accept that there are a lot of retards that call themselves trans. Commander Sterling! What the fuck does Jim Sterling do on fucking Blue Sky? This can't be good. I should have watched the Liquid Sonic video on stream about Jim Sterling, because everyone else did. Capitalism is a scam. There we go. Yeah, Jim Sterling is fucking lame now. Fuck me, dude.
Which is why I need you, especially if you're a cis ally. Again,
This is the thing, they don't even like talk about their life or anything on the internet. So we don't know almost anything that's been going on. There's not even like good drama or anything. Oh, we got divorced. Oh, we're talking about essence of thought.
I know trans people in the UK and the US are suffering right now, but I also know that many of you are cis people or are trans people in countries where things aren't.
Oh, it's Jolly on Morm promoting Bashback. That's very embarrassing.
Quite as bad, some of whom have wondered what they can do to help. Well, here's one
I bet no one's wondered and you're just doing this.
material way that you can do just that by supporting trans voices like ours. We need to get back up to $500 on Patreon. This would give us the funds to replace equipment, begin my HRT, save a little, as well as have some small luxuries like food during my downtime. Just the little things that give life meaning, allowing me to live rather than merely survive. That's just over $200, which might sound like a lot, but if 50 people put down $5 a month, that would resolve our financial worries overnight. $5. What can you buy these days for $5? And yet, that $5 can be a life-changing thing if enough people give it. No amount is too small when it comes to crowdfunding. Every $1, $2, or $3 helps towards that goal. It is doable. I know. We've done it before. We just need to build back to that point. It should also be mentioned that those who donate $10 or more will get their username in the credits of every video whilst they're a patron, and those who give $20 or more will have their name read out loud by my
Insanely shameless. Yeah, they've just always been this way. Just always been the way with this person. Now they're divorced, they're doing it again. Oh, I'm in the UK and it's scary. It's not scary. It's not scary. You'll probably never leave your house anyway. You'll probably be fine. Just move in with Heather and Sophie and the rest of the polycule. You'll have to do some disgusting things with people that you're not attracted to. But it's okay. I'm sure you'll manage. Either get a job or stop fucking whining. I don't know, man. Doesn't matter that some people choose not to work and do shit like this instead for less money. But then don't bitch about your life choices. Because this is your life choices. And yeah, I mean, they kind of gave up on posting regularly a while ago. I guess here's when the divorce started. Around here. But we don't even get to find out what happened. That's the worst part. At least tell us. Who cheated on who, you know?
Self personally. So that's a great way for you to make your permanent mark on the channel's legacy, a way for you to say that
there's something in it for you too, right? There's something in it for you too.
You did your part during the community's darkest hour. Outside of this video, I'm going to start pushing
darkest hour, if only you knew. If only you knew.
Patreon more, both in videos and on social media. There's been a little hesitancy over this in the past, but again, I cannot live under the current system. Something needs to give, and I'd rather swallow my pride than end my career. I also need you to start sharing our videos more often.
Yeah, I wouldn't get a job, started making more money, and immediately started giving it away.
Whenever we post, maybe just think of one thing you learned or your answers to the questions at the end, and post that to social media alongside a link to the video. The more people who become a part of our community, the easier it becomes to reach our goal. I'm open to...
That's a very good point. If someone cheated, it was probably this person.
...any and all suggestions on how to boost viewership. I've been trying to make things a little...
Or his wife is just saying she's working that amount of money.
...more casual across the last few videos, something I felt was lost at the end of 2019. So please
Just dropping by at Chad Preet's house on the way home, you know, for like 2 hours, you know.
please share any suggestions for things I can change, or even ideas for topics you think could draw people in, either down below, or you could always message me privately via our Discord server, which will be linked in the video description down below. Please, help me make 2025 the year that essence of thought returns to its fully functioning state. Give me security.
If only you knew. Give me security.
So that I can best serve our community.
Serve our community. Fuck off, bro.
Particularly those largely ignored. We can make that happen. Together.
I hate this person. It's like weird found family shit. All this like community shit. Oh, it's fucking nuts. I don't know, is there like any quick stuff about this person with that Rachel Oates person? Because like it's not just that this person's a TRA who talks such a nonsense and lies on the internet to a bunch of impressionable people as an impressionable person themselves who probably has taken in all kinds of lies themselves. But they had this long beef with this Rachel Oates person who I don't even know what she did. They were on for like years and years. There was another thing about that Vangelina Skov who did a video. Yeah, this person started making endless videos about Vangelina Skov. They wanted sympathy. They decided that this Vangelina woman had like plagiarized their video when they just talked about the same thing. So some of the screenshots were of the same thing. Like this was complete nonsense. And they sent like emails and stuff. I don't know. The problem is all this stuff takes fucking ages. And like the Rachel Oates thing as well.
Rachel Oates on the 1st of October 2020.
These kinds of people who think it's worse to be called transphobic than it is to do anything transphobic, or that it's worse to be called a misogynist than it is to say misogynistic things. Like, it's ridiculous. It's not. Just be a good person and you won't be called these things.
Rachel Oates on the 5th of April 2022.
Quote, so quick update. I filed a defamation claim against EOT's video and YouTube agreed with me that it is in violation of the UK's defamation laws and so have restricted it from being played in the UK. The big claims in their video that I'm a serial transphobe are utterly false and are said with the intent of damaging my reputation. End quote.
It's ridiculous. It's not. Just be a good person and you won't.
This is supposed to show some kind of hypocrisy, I guess. They were like absolutely deranged against this woman for like years.
Woodford, denying trans women equal participation in women's sports, violated numerous human rights, namely the right to equality and non-discrimination, the right to the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health, the right to sexual and reproductive health, the right to work and to the enjoyment of...
Although... What's the Jimmy Snow thing about? I fucking hate Jimmy Snow. Coercing a fan to send him sexualized photos of them. And he runs a fucking weird transoid debate show. That I'm interested in. But yeah, I don't know. It is one of those things I feel would take like fucking ages to explain. Because they were like, this person has been like obsessed with this woman for like years. And then eventually decided to chill the fuck out a bit. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of There's a lot of slop streams about fucking essence of thought. Why I don't like talking about people like this. There's a lot of slop out there I could spend hours fucking watching just to re-understand when this person's just a deranged freak. That's all you need to know. If this person is beefing with someone, they're probably not all that bad, and this person is a deranged freak. If they're gonna exaggerate to all fuck about people like Rachel Oates or whatever, obviously they're gonna exaggerate about their living situation and about how hard it is for trans people and all this other shit. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably about it for this person. Sorry I got divorced. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I've got some time, but I sort of don't really know what else to talk about. I'm prepared for it. Yeah, most of it is shit. We'll watch. I did want to see what this was actually. We'll watch this and then we'll start. So apparently this Connie Shaw woman that I made fun of fairly recently.
Hello, I'm Connie Shaw.
Showing up to protests and acting like a moron. Did a thing about debating trans people with Maeve Halligan, who is another British turfy kind of activist. I'll see what this is.
Hello, I'm Connie Shaw and I'm at the ART conference and I'm joined by my friend Maeve Halligan, who is the president of the Cambridge University Society of Women and also a master's student at the University of Cambridge. Now, Maeve, I think millions of people now have seen your phenomenal speech at the Cambridge Union where you were debating in favour of the motion that modern LGBTQ plus activism fails its community. How do you feel about the reaction to your speech? Because it is absolutely just, it's so phenomenal. I think it's a real turning point in young people amongst this debate.
Yeah, well, I think that I was really pleased with how the speech went. In that I found out I was going to be speaking at the Cambridge Union quite short notice for various reasons, and then when I did it, I think a lot of sort of emotion and conviction.
I'll be honest, that Cambridge Union debate was pretty fucking lame. It was barely even a debate. It was just a bunch of people reading out statements.
Really built up for me, and I just wanted to put, the chamber through a bit of a whistle-stop tour of what I think are some of the main issues with gender ideology in its current iteration, and that is the harm it does to children, the harm it does to lesbian and gay people, and the harm that it does to women and our rights. Now, the reason that I think the speech gained traction, and I'm very, very grateful for that, is because it's very rare that young women are seen to be talking about this. I mean, it's funny that I'm talking to you because, of course, in this country, you've been extremely vocal. Arguably, you're at the forefront of young women, fighting against gender ideology. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that it's not normal for women like us, young women, to do this. So I think what the speech did, it normalized it. It gives people permission to say, I agree with that. It gives them something to point to refer to, which means they don't necessarily have to do all of the kind of mental effort themselves.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, man. What was that Kelly J. Keane video? She's kind of complaining about people jumping on the bandwagon like years and years later and being loved for it. Meanwhile, she's still kind of along for the ride when she was doing it like years ago. I'm surprised people like her don't find shit like this like really annoying. I gave permission for people to say trans women are men. Bro, people have been saying that for time. Calm down a bit.
And in terms of young women, as much as we're two young women who do talk about this issue and are opposed to the harms that transgender ideology creates, it's also young women who are the main enforcers of this ideology. It's young women who are the ones who try to punish other young women such as ourselves for talking against it. Why do you think that is? And what has it also been like forming the Society of Women at Cambridge? How do your members feel about all of this? And do you think that it's been a success? And do you think that things are going to change going forwards now at university?
Sure. Okay, so a few things to address there. I mean, you and I, as you say, understand that although we may be, openly and publicly against gender ideology and will contest it in the kind of public sphere, it is also the case that, our peers are its biggest cheerleaders, its biggest supporters. Now, I think it's funny because that's actually really self-destructive. This harms women's rights. And as a young woman especially, you're more vulnerable in some senses. And, it's very disappointing and it makes me sad, really. I'll say it when I see women of my age or a bit younger cheering on something that functionally erases their right to single-sex spaces, their right to fairness in sport, their right to, safety while incarcerated in prisons. Of course, that's, timely at the moment given the recent victory in Scotland. With the Society of Women that I set up with two friends at Cambridge, that was three young women really putting themselves in the firing line. So we knew that there would be backlash and vitriol and all the rest of it. But we understood that it was so important to bring together young women, not just under the banner of a gender critical stance, but to promote women's rights more generally and get us back on a path where we can talk about women's issues without constantly talking about trans.
Yeah, I saw the Kathleen Stock debate. I actually quite like Kathleen Stock. She's a lot more reasonable than some of these types. The ones that are kind of more kind of centrist about it. Like, I do appreciate.
Wanted to do that. So it was a simple question of, is this worth it? Is this backlash?
Yeah, the Overton window has definitely shifted. Like, these people are doing pretty well now. There's a whole ass grift you can do on this kind of shit. And people will eat it up.
This vitriol worth it?
But they act as if, like, this is like some extremely like urgent thing that is going on when actually we're seeing like the downfall of like the TRA shit, and we have for a long time. We're seeing like the downfall of the excesses of the trans movement, which I think is a good thing, you know what I mean? I'm the same. I don't like a lot of the excessive shit, but then we act like, we act like things aren't massively going in like, these women's rights groups' favors these days. It's just win after win. We're still acting like we're like so oppressed. I just don't really get it. It's so dangerous to kids. They're like shutting a lot of that shit down. Women's spaces, well, you're getting win after win in that department. Women's sports, like barely an issue anymore. Certainly in this country. I can't remember the last time. I think the only thing I've been hearing about recently with like women's sports is like the pool stuff. Like trans women entering a pool tournament. For the most part, like the sporting bodies, they don't want trans women in the sports with women. So I kind of wonder, I have agreements with these people, but I'm like, the lengths they're going to and shit, it's like, why? Why?
Should we weather this for the sake of our broader cause, which is getting modern feminism even back on a more sensible path and bringing together young women into that fold?
Yeah, I can buy it's different in Canada, but I'm not in Canada. This woman's not in Canada. Connie Shaw is not in Canada. GB News is not a Canadian channel, And I think once these people start talking, well, in other countries it's bad. It's like, well, you're in Britain. You're in Britain pushing this stuff as if it's the worst thing ever. If it's so much worse in other countries, then rather than talk about those countries here, go to those countries,
And stopping them feeling scared about speaking up for themselves as women. And thus far, I'm very happy to say that the Society of Women's first academic year is now concluded. I'm moving on, which is interesting, and I'm excited to see what they do next.
It's gonna become like woke as fuck, I bet. That'd almost be funny.
Has been successful. We've enjoyed huge, widespread public support, internal support within our university among staff and other students, of course. We've achieved something really, really big, and I'm very, very proud of my co-founders and the members. And as I say, I'm really grateful to all in online and wider society who have encouraged us.
Yeah, that's the thing. The gender ideology thing was big for a while. A lot of very glaring issues have been exposed about it in more recent times. And now it's on the downward trend. There's always going to be people that push it and agree with it and believe in it and shit now. But it's like, where else is there to go? It's just obvious that you'll never get everyone to believe that trans women are women. And it's pointless to try. You know? Where else can you go? There's no way of making that a reality claim. So I guess, like, the more extreme, like, turfy types. I don't know how extreme. I think Connie's pretty extreme, but Connie's like a right-winger. I just, the more extreme kind of shit, it just feels like we're just eradicating any trace of this kind of thing, where it's like, well, you're fucking over a lot of people doing that. There's a lot of trans people that don't want the same shit you don't want. But you can't just take it to a certain level and say, well, let's have it where it makes sense. It has to be like complete fucking death, you know? That's not going to work either. You'll start seeing people move back towards the TRA shit. Because your shit looks cruel, you know? I don't think a lot of these people really understand, like, the pro-trans side. And it's not like they don't help themselves. Because a lot of them are just trying to be good people and haven't really thought about this kind of shit. But there are ways of, like, defending your belief that trans women, or trans people rather, should be included in society and regarded as what they want to be in most cases. You know, as long as you're not trying to enforce it, because enforcing it doesn't fucking work, and we shouldn't do that. But like, we just pick the dumbest version of something, I think, a lot of these people, and push against that, and then, like, job's done. And like, oh, no one will debate us. Well, how much do you try to have debates with people? How much do you reach out to people that put ideas out there to see if they'll talk to you? I don't think any of these people really make any effort to debate people on the other side. And when they do, it's people like Connie. I mean, listen, I made a video and people should watch it to understand my points about this kind of thing. But like, the most mainstream TERFs. I guess Kelly J. Keane. I don't know. I have a better answer for that later, maybe. Yeah, I made a video about Connie Shaw. These are people that go on about, like, these debates that they want to have, and oh, no one, they're not up for debate. Like, then they won't debate us. And so they go to, like, random protests and shit and just accost random people. And then pretend that the responses they're getting from those random people are indicative of, like, the wider movement, or the wider kind of belief system, or whatever.
Looked out for us, platformed us, donated, and all the rest of it. So it's been great.
I'm joined now by the founder and...
Yeah, Helen Joyce is very mainstream. Kathleen Stock. I think Kathleen Stock is a lot more kind of moderate, so I like her a lot better. Helen Joyce is okay, I guess. Yeah.
Or click the link in the description.
I know, well, we both get asked this question quite a lot. You know, why did you do this? I heard someone else at the conference ask you yesterday, were you scared when you did this, made the speech or set the society up? And you said yes, and the person...
Yeah. Connie Shaw was influenced by both of them. Like, she said in like, interviews and stuff that she was radicalized by those people.
And said, well, why did you do it? Why was this so important to you? Because it's such an unusual thing. And, you know, hopefully we'll see more of it, more young women, more young people in general being able to talk out against these sort of authoritarian...
Talk to their own, or when they do cross the line, it's a troll. Yeah, exactly. She does, like, rage bait shit at protests, like going up to them with a microphone. And it's not actual serious conversation, but they'll pretend it is. They'll frame it as if they're just trying to have real conversations and people keep turning them down. They're turning you down because you're obviously just there to fuck with people. But then they act like, oh, well, you know, we want to have debates and stuff. What do they actually do? What do they actually do?
Actually authoritarian ideologies. What was it for you? And is it even possible to explain that motivation?
Because I was scared. That's why it's important. when you step back and you take a look at the situation as it stands, of course, I mean, you can spend time sort of laughing, lamenting, raging. This situation is absolutely mad. You know, we're two young women talking about the fact that we're seen as rebels at best and pariahs at worst for the fact that we're willing to say, oh, actually, men aren't women. It's turf sort of the new punk. Some women like to say so because it's that
please don't say stuff like that.
Fringe and weird, supposedly. Like
you're way too posh, man. Sorry.
World's topsy-turvy. Anyway, because it's scary as a young woman to speak up, because the backlash is so disproportionately awful, that's precisely why
my mum's like a retired professional footballer and stuff.
We have to do it more so than ever and do it openly and proudly and do it together. Like uniting more women, especially, but also, you know, there's clearly space for young men in this debate.
You know, I haven't watched Magdalene Burns in ages. I need to, because I'm very up and down with like gender critical views and stuff. I should watch her back and think about it again. Because at the time, I mean, I was more strong in those kind of views. But like when I watched them before, I agreed with a lot of what she said.
Debate, uniting us, you know, inspiring one another, lifting each other up, picking each other up when we're down, when we're crushed over and over again by institutions, organizations, and individuals that want to hurt us. That's how we're going to achieve this. I believe that we'll win. I don't feel naive in being optimistic anymore. And doing it together is what gives me that optimism. When I'm working with other young women, when I've done stuff with you, we've done activism stuff together for a couple of years. Like, that's what gives me hope. And it's no coincidence that the women older than us have also organised and got together organisations such as Women Scotland, of course, who had that resounding legal victory last April in the UK Supreme Court. Sex Matters, who are kind of friends of ours almost and have always encouraged us. You know, the LGBT Alliance, to an extent, is extremely, you know, has been pivotal in this debate, especially on behalf of the LGBT community. You know, there are so many organisations here. And the Cambridge University Society of Women, it's the first, I hope, of what will be a far, far bigger group of young women organising. It's our time.
Talking about the society, what kind of things do your members say when they come to you and they join the society? Because you've said, and you tell people that, you know, people are scared. Obviously, young women are scared because it's scary. What has it meant to those young women to have...
What a sentence. Obviously, young women are scared because it's scary.
Obviously, young women are scared because it's scary.
Scary things scare people, did you know?
What has it meant to those young women to have this community? Because a follow-up question as well for this is, do you think that students at your university and more widely who have been involved in the backlash to this movement, do you think that they are afraid that something like the Society of Women will gain so much popularity that their own arguments will be proven incorrect, or they genuinely believe that what you're doing is so evil that it shouldn't be allowed, and they think that you're making it up when you say that you have many members?
Is anyone really scared that their arguments will be proven incorrect? Is that really an impulse that many people have?
The first thing
I feel like that's what people say from the other side, posturing about the people they don't agree with.
Is I have to consciously not try to psychoanalyze these people. The members of the student body, and it's a minority, but they're very, very vocal, which is a common trend within this debate. The members of the student body who have been the sort of ringleaders of the backlash, not necessarily even people I could name, but just off the top of my head, and specific student societies, you know, and all the rest of it, I struggle to want to ever relate to them. So I'm not going to sit here and say, I know they secretly agree with me. I don't know that. But what I do know is, regardless, like, if they disagree, if all I basically embody is a threat to their sense of moral righteousness, regardless, their treatment of a group of young women who have organised on the basis of sex, done so publicly, and promoted important causes within the women's movement, such as it is, causes like attacking porn culture for the harm that it does to our society, you know, contesting prostitution and its dangers and the sex industry, and denying this total lie that it's empowering for women to be paid for their bodies and all the rest of it. The fact that you've got students attacking, coming up to, you know, me in the street.
Yeah, it is with these activist types, it is the same story, but just a different group. Trans people are acting as if we're being genocided. Women are acting as if to be a woman means nothing now in society. No, it still means something. Most people still see you as like the archetype of what a woman is because you're female. It's not as bad as we act. And that's what I mean. Like, we're doing this in the UK. The UK is just not... It's especially not bad. I don't think it's that bad for trans people. It's especially not bad for, like, gender-critical women these days. You can, in fact, just say what you fucking want. I mean, fucking... dickhead fucking Billboard Steve has proved that, right? He's never been, like, stopped by police and, like, ordered to move on. He's never been dispersed. He's never been arrested for what he does. You can, in fact, just say what you think about this kind of shit. And some people are still going to think you're a prick. You might still get attacked by the odd person. And that's not good. But it's not like there's some kind of systemic thing where you have to keep your shit in private. You know what I mean? Some people are affronted if you walk down the streets being visibly trans. It kind of goes both ways.
Street, calling me fascist, Nazi, saying that I shouldn't be permitted to be at the university, saying I'm too stupid to be there, saying that the fact I'm a TERF is testament to the fact I'm just unintelligent.
It's just people being mean. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Someone called you stupid. Wow.
That is never going to be okay in the first place. I could be actually saying something bad and their treatment of me is still not justified, but the reason that they seek to attack, you know, in such kind of low...
Attacking is when you call someone stupid, I guess. Wow. Wow.
...ways and not debate is because I do think, I will speculate, I think they do know that their conviction, their ideology is a very, very fragile tower of cards.
This is incredibly fucking gay. I'm so sorry. It's not like I don't agree that plenty of the so-called trans ideology shit is complete fucking batshit. But you don't, like, I'm sorry, mate, you don't say that. Oh, they're just scared of debating because they know they'll lose. That's like gay as fuck. Fuck that shit.
I do think, I will speculate, I think they do know that their conviction...
Listen, if this person reached out to me, I'd happily talk. I'd happily debate. The thing with people like this is, like, I'm not the kind of person they actually would want to talk to about this kind of shit. Because I'm not actually emblematic of the shit that they actually have a problem with. But, you know, not everyone is scared of talking to people in case they get proven wrong. Like, if anything, the reason that TRA types wouldn't debate someone like this is because they genuinely think that you're, like, fucking fascists or some shit. You know what I mean? They genuinely act like they should have some moral issue with even having a conversation with someone, which is fucking ridiculous. I think that's far more likely than, oh yeah, they know they lose. Like, most people do. Like, especially like that activist type. I think they're pretty sure about their beliefs. I think they're pretty secure in their beliefs. Even if a lot of those beliefs are fucking retarded, you know?
Their ideology is a very, very fragile tower of cards, and when they debate, if they debated, they would lose. I mean, how...
Yeah, it's complete nonsense. I'm sorry. I have never met any TRA types that have given me the impression that they're just scared of debate. I think they've learned a lot of extremely bad habits, and they're used to not really having to debate ever. I think a lot of them have lost the ability to handle, like, disagreement and stuff. But that's completely different to what we're saying here.
How often do you see, for example, you know, trans rights activists or trans identifying individuals themselves consciously and decidedly walking into debating scenarios? Never.
And the results after
they have to walk into debating scenarios. You people with all the kind of resources you have and shit, you can't go looking for it yourself in a better setting than on a fucking protest. You can't reach out to people. Debate is not what these people want. They just want their shit to be what wins. This is just bullshit. I'm sorry, this is so fake. It's so fucking fake. What are these people doing? Oh no, the trans people have to walk into debate scenario. Walk into debate scenario? What the fuck does that mean? What debate scenario am I going to go and walk into right now? You know what I mean? What does that even fucking mean? Like, these people have resources. These people can do lots. If they actually want to have conversations, they can have them. They're choosing to do things in a certain way, I think.
Debate concluded and the voting, you spoke about how that kind of testifies to what you're saying. You may have lost the debate according to the votes in the union, but what's your analysis of the actual numbers and how people voted?
Yeah, so the thing to remember about the debating unions at Cambridge and Oxford and many other different universities,
they're woke,
is that you vote publicly.
People didn't want to admit that they really agreed with her. People didn't want to admit that actually they agreed with her. So they just pretended, oh, well, if I vote publicly, people will think I'm a good person, when actually I secretly agree with the other people. There's no way that, like, anything they said could have been wrong or could have been a bit much or could have been taken a certain way. It's like the utter lack of humility is, like, terrifying.
Physically walk through a door and everyone sees which door you walk through. And
you vote with your feet, as they say.
Well, I'd agree there aren't very many solid arguments around trans, but that doesn't mean that the people that make wrong arguments aren't, like, wholeheartedly, they truly believe what they're saying. If I was to go around being like, oh, right-wingers won't debate about, like, immigration because they know that secretly they're wrong, like, that's a retarded thing to say. They truly believe this kind of shit, wherever it comes from. They do believe this kind of shit. I have no trouble believing that. It's just that I disagree with some of the shit they say. You know what I mean? But, like, how cringe is it to speculate that, oh, people just won't have debates with you on certain subjects because they know they're wrong secretly? It's just, like, dumb. No, they believe that they're right. They believe there are reasons why they shouldn't engage with you. And part of the problem is that they won't engage with other people. But it's not because they think they're wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it's nuts. Like, there is a lot of conditioning that goes into, like, some of this shit, where it's like, you have to condition people into not wanting conversation. But, like, it's not because you think that you're wrong. You know, everyone thinks they're right. I don't know how to say what I'm saying.
That means that you are under scrutiny, or you feel that you are, so you might as well be. So I'm not going to pretend that that means that vote was necessarily going to be representative of attitudes in the room once I'd finished speaking. I didn't speak last, I was penultimate.
Yeah, I mean, I would honestly be more amenable to them saying something like, well, I think maybe they turn down debates so much because they don't want us to speak. They don't want us to be platformed. They don't want people to hear what we have to say. I would be more amenable to that than, oh, they think they're wrong. They think they'll just lose. They'll just lose if they try, so they don't bother. Like, you'd have more of an argument with that. I think that there's, like, censorious element, for sure.
You vote with your feet, it's public. And I think the fact that
they want people to think that it's just hate. They don't want people to hear what you really think.
Were over 50.
But then the problem is, these people barely understand how their opposition really think. So you're just part of the problem, but from the other side.
50 abstentions. Bear in mind the votes, you know, opposing the motion, so opposing me, there were 70 of them, or 80. Those abstentions, I said it at the time, I believe that's the start of something. I think there's defiance there. For your reference, that's a very high number of abstentions. I think, you know, if nothing else.
Yeah, no one's a moderate. No one finds some things more amenable on one side and some things more amenable on the other side. Like, they're actually just gonna swing towards us. Everything is a slippery slope. Everything is a 0 or a 1. And anyone find themselves in the middle on any issue, they're just gonna end up a 0 or 1 eventually. No, I'm okay. I'm glad this small child is telling me how people's brains work, you know.
The speech didn't necessarily change minds, but it got people to just start thinking, sow a little seed of doubt, a new idea. I
find this extremely arrogant. Who was it that was saying? I think it was that weird Taylor woman that hangs out with Steve. They had some conversation with some woman who was, like, kind of pro-trans. Like, she seemed like she hadn't thought about it very much. which is often the case with like the ally types. They just want to be good people. They haven't really thought about it very much. They don't really know what the arguments are. But like, yeah, it's all like, at the end, it's like, oh, well, all I can hope is that I like sowed a seed or something. 100% showing that you're just trying to convince other people. You don't actually give a fuck about the other side of the conversation. The other person is just a vehicle for you to put your message out on. But it's like so arrogant to think that way. Oh, well, some of those people, it's because we sowed a seed, like they're going to start thinking about it more and agree with us. I don't like this kind of stuff, man.
Know for a fact that there are students in that room who had literally never heard this point of view, let alone from a young woman who looks like them, talks like them. And if that's true, then I did my job. And on that note, I'm really, really happy to have set up the Society of Women. I said in the speech that I was only at Cambridge for a year, and that's how I decided to spend my time there. And in large part, that's true. I'll look back and,
Well, yeah, listen, there's a lot wrong with, like, TRA ideas. That's part of the point. But I don't think they're just running scared because they know they'll lose,
I'll laugh at the backlash and the vitriol, I already do. And more importantly, I will smile thinking about the work that we did together, your involvement and all the rest of it. I think this is the start of something. I'm excited.
So obviously, as I said at the start,
yeah, I really hope it's not the start of yet more fucking retards showing up to trans protests and shoving cameras in people's faces. We don't actually need more of that, believe it or not.
We are at the ARC conference, and I would always describe it as a conference to bring people together who want to save Western civilization and what makes the West so brilliant. And we've seen in polling, and it's obvious just from our own experiences at university and just what we see people say and hear from young women that, that it is young women disproportionately who are absolutely sliding so quickly to very authoritarian, progressive left-wing stances. And as I said, from our own experiences, it's nearly always young women, the same ages as us, who are determined to stop us from saying what we think about this issue in particular. What do you think it is for young women who their political stances become their identity so strongly that they cannot bear someone disagreeing with them? I mean, it's almost as if someone disagreeing with them undermines their own personal identity, is how I see it. I mean, how do you see it?
Yeah, no, well, I'd say, let's say it, young women are being radicalised. And I've discussed before, as have you, the fact that a lot of the time, generations older than ours, we're Gen Z, but millennials and above will be so worried about young men and boys at the moment and fear that they're sort of discovering the manosphere and they're all going to go and worship Andrew Tate, and it's terrifying. That's happening, but it's not happening at anywhere near the level with the sort of ferocity that we're seeing in young women. Their shift left is frightening. Personally, I also find it extremely frustrating because...
you talk about shift left. Will you think about the kind of things that push people that way, like the cost of living and shit like that, housing? The kind of shit that you just see in the streets nowadays. It doesn't come out of nowhere, and I feel like these people don't really like getting into it. And when they do, I mean, this Connie Shaw one, it'll just be, oh, well, it's immigration. Millions must go and all that shit.
Part of the modern...
these people don't care, I don't think, to understand the people that they disagree with and want to convince and stuff. I don't think they truly understand those people.
Left-leaning viewpoint, and let's not delude ourselves. It's a kind of box-checking exercise. The omni cause, as it's called. So you have to support many, many things and hate many, many other things. And if you miss off just one of these criteria, you're out. You're ousted, cancelled or whatever. Anyway, so all of these causes that they support, a lot of them they support with this ferocity as I'm describing, that's so emotional. This is emotional politics for these women. So they're thinking all the time about the kind of social currency of their views. They're thinking about what they perceive to be kind, what isn't kind. I mean, you and I are absolutely aligned in the fact that I think that using the opposite pronoun or pretending that a man can be a woman, I don't think that's kind. I don't think it's kind to lie to children and all the rest of it. But they have decided that the morally righteous, the virtuous thing to think...
Doesn't actually matter if it's kind, by the way.
I think that kind, what isn't kind... I mean, you and
the using preferred pronouns to be kind argument is extremely shit as an argument goes. Really, the way it is, well, it just... You get the same thing with someone like that Daviana person. The way they sound, I can't call that person a she. because they just don't sound right. They sound like a dude. They sound like someone I'd call a he, so that's what I tend toward. Like, it just makes sense in some ways to refer to people that resemble women as she. To a lot of people, you know? It's hard to... But then it goes back to my logic being more about, like, transsexualism and, like, passing and stuff like that, and actually living as the other sex. Which I think is mainly what matters here. And all the other shit, you know, call me they, them stuff, like, who fucking cares? People call you what they want to call you. If they decide to call you they, they're probably doing it because you asked them to, rather than because they're being kind. They might think they're being kind. But really, they just don't want you to kick off, you know? That's the main reason why those people are being called, like, those kinds of pronouns. You might think it's being kind. But the point is, it's not meant to be being kind. It's meant to just be, like, what's natural, right? It's meant to be, well, if I resemble a woman more than a man, then it's just gonna be in some people's heads that they should probably just call you a she. Like, that's just how they'll react to you. That's meant to be the point. It's got nothing to do with, like, kindness.
I absolutely aligned in the fact that I think that, you know, using the opposite pronoun or pretending that a man can be a woman,
Yeah, Kitty Cat, this I can imagine you really fucking not liking Connie Shaw. Like, a lot of these people are, like, right-wingers. Right-wing and gender critical are becoming, like, one and the same. I do still see, like, left-leaning, like, gender criticals out there. Some of them are sellout fucking losers, like Peak Trans, I guess, but, like, some of the others, like, I do see comments from people that are those kinds of people that are, like, frustrated by it. But I think you're so outnumbered by the rightoid kind of element. And I guess that was always going to be the case.
don't think that's kind. I don't think it's kind to lie to children and all the rest of it. But they have decided that the morally righteous, the virtuous thing to think, and therefore to do, and to wave placards about, are certain views that just are incompatible with one another, by the way. I mean, the classic example that is discussed is something like Queers for Palestine. You know, we're talking about
Oh, they're going for the dumbest fucking shit. Hang on one sec.
Morally righteous, the virtuous thing to think, and therefore to do.
Yeah, like, affirming pronouns is the virtuous thing to think. The problem is, we have led people down the wrong path. We have led people down this, like, retarded way of thinking, where trans people are literally what they say they are. And so to not call them what they want to be called is some kind of heinous crime or whatever. All that shit is dumb and needs to go. But that's where you kind of, you do your part to try and, like, push a more sane alternative, you know. Instead, we go on about, like, Queers for Palestine. Like, oh, I hate it.
And to wave placards about.
Like, you can't understand this shit. Like, these people, though, if you think about it for any length of time. You don't have to assume that everyone that disagrees with you is, like, completely irrational and has just believed a bunch of bullshit. They have to an extent, but it's about how people internalize that kind of shit. About how it plays on their moral compass. If you think about it for a while, you can make a lot of people make sense, I think, even if they're not, like, aligned with you politically and stuff. Even if what they think is, like, very foreign. But most people just don't seem to want to try. It's easier to just be like, oh, these people are insane.
Are certain views that just are incompatible with one another, by the way. I mean, the classic example that is discussed is something like Queers for Palestine. You know, we're talking about homosexual individuals or self-proclaimed queers, personally not a slur that I would use. You know,
it's not a slur in this context, but sure.
They're talking about a space, a place in which they would be persecuted and harassed and in some cases killed. You know, everybody...
In some cases killed. Like, what cases, Maeve? What cases? See, I looked into this because dipshit number 2 on the other side of the couch has literally said they throw you off buildings in Gaza if you're gay, by the way. It's not true. This is what ISIS was doing in, like, Iraq and Syria, like, 10 years ago. It's not the same fucking thing. It might not be the best place to be gay by a long fucking shot. I would imagine that's more because of the bombs getting fucking dropped on them. And the attempt to, like, remove them than anything else. Yeah, it's probably not the best place to be if you're gay. But if you're a gay person who doesn't think that people should be fucking bombed to shit because they were born in a certain place, because of a bunch of fucking religious shit and all that, like nationalism and stuff. If you object to that kind of thing, then it doesn't matter if they might not be that kind to you if you're gay and you live there. Like, you can understand that your people might not be treated very well in a place and still think that they don't deserve to die. You know what I mean? It's like the most mind-bendingly obvious shit that I really don't know how to take it, that these people pretend it makes no sense. I really don't know how to take it. Because it's like you can't seriously not understand this if you've actually spent any time thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? It's just obvious. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. It makes it seem like these people are like trying to not understand. And there's nowhere to go with people like that, because if you're not being honest about what you understand, if you're not presenting something the way you actually understand it to be, then you're like fundamentally dishonest. And there's just no point, you know? You want people to debate you, or show that you actually understand the fucking world around you. Do that first.
Everybody says sort of turkeys for Christmas and stuff, and glib as that is, there's truth in it.
No, not really.
Such self-delusion going on here, and young women are at the absolute forefront of it.
That made no fucking sense. What are you talking about? If I like became a pro-Palestine activist based in the UK, what is that endangering for me? What is that doing to make my life less safe? It's not turkeys for Christmas shit. That's like fucking retarded. And yeah, it's not Saudi Arabia there. These people are all zogged. The UK right is like completely consumed by this like Britain and Israel first ideology, from which you get, you know, from which came people like Tommy Robinson, you know. It's completely like fucking zogged out. And I can see like people even further right than these people having a problem with it, and I kind of understand it. That these people have practically become sellouts. That the right is just, you know, it calls itself nationalist, but it's like Britain and Israel first. How can you be a nationalist? Like, these people complain about Palestine flags at trans marches. Like, why are there fucking Israel flags at Unite the Kingdom marches? Like nationalist events. Why are those there, you know?
Partly because young women are excellent policers of other people's social behavior, because we operate in groups, we are tribal, we fear social ostracization, or most of us do. You know, they're very, very good at making sure that everybody toes the line and nobody rocks the boat. And sorry to mix my metaphors, but that means that it makes it all the harder every day that this goes on and perpetuates. It makes it all the harder to leave this kind of cultish following of certain political lines that women absolutely enforce. Mm-hmm. So because young women are the biggest cheerleaders of this,
there's absolutely no way that gender critical could also become cultish, by the way.
Also tough for us to rebel. But again, that's why it's all the more important that we do exactly that when we can.
What would be your message?
And like, don't they all do the same thing as well? They all happen to have the same views on like immigration and Palestine and all this other shit. What happens if women kind of say the slightest thing that's like trans affirming? What happens then?
But again, that's why it's all the more important that we do exactly that when we can.
What would be your message to those women who are caught up in this? Because mine would be that, you know, if you are so confident in your views, you shouldn't have any problem with someone disagreeing with you and having that conversation. But like you said, it's quite scary. And I feel a sort of... I want to take these women in too and have these conversations with them.
I won't give up on them, yeah. I don't think they're a lost cause. No. I don't think you do either. I have days where... oh my gosh, I'm frustrated, partly because I refuse to think that I'm somehow exceptional, or that you are, with respect. I think we're normal young women who like going to the pub and talking to our friends and who do...
Yes, this is very normal behaviour.
Do like hanging out in groups.
And people who hate us seem to think that we don't do these normal things.
But that is crucial for them. They have to dehumanise us. They have to. And I kind of get it. If they make us into monsters, they don't have to engage with us as people, as women.
Yeah.
my message I would say is, yeah, I haven't given up on them. I said in the speech, I don't think that you're bad people. A couple of people, who totally agree with us almost laughed at me for that, but I stand by it. I don't think they're bad people. But I also implored the room, and I guess generally, I implored people to be brave in terms of be willing to challenge your own ideas, self-interrogate. God knows we spent years doing that. I spent a long time thinking, wondering why I was being called a bigot for something that I thought was as simple as 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah.
And I self-interrogated. In fact, I try to engage with the other side of this all the time, and I do. And oftentimes it's successful and it's constructive.
It's so funny when people say, have you ever spoken to a trans person? It's like all the time. And actually it was speaking to...
What, at fucking... at protest? When they know that you're farming them.
Them and listening to them that made me realise that this was all a load of rubbish and that they are vulnerable people who need people who are brave enough to say the truth.
They've always conveniently already had all the conversations they need to know what they know, you know what I mean?
Maeve Halligan, thank you so much, and I'm so grateful for what you have done at the University of Cambridge, and I know that there will be so many young women out there who feel...
Like, this Cambridge thing, was it that much of an event? I guess it went kind of viral and stuff. It's like so much of an event that like fucking ages later we do this like retrospective like interview. This is so fucking gay. I mean, I don't know. Listen, like I said, I have agreements with these people when it comes to some of the TRA shit. I think the no debate shit is cringe as fuck. Especially if it's gonna be something that affects people's like free speech and stuff like that. I think that as much stuff as possible even very much should be up for debate. I don't really see that on the trans side, so I do agree with them in a sense. I just think if you're going to moan about it this much, you should actually be showing that you're like trying to have those kind of conversations and like properly, rather than just like pissing people off at Pride. All these people are doing is making themselves less likely to be able to talk to like trans people. And if that's what they're saying, they want like debate and stuff, well, it should be up for debate and we should talk and stuff like that. Then they've gone about it the wrong way. And I think they know they've gone about it the wrong way. But they just pretend that the reactions they get from like trans people are like completely natural. Like when they show up to fucking content farm them, or when they ask for a debate and you look them up and you find out what kind of shit they get up to. Like I just think the whole thing's fake. I feel like I hear the word debate from these kinds of people so fucking much. I don't think they actually meaningfully do a huge amount. I think it's all like fake. You're encouraged to think that like the Pride videos and like protest videos and stuff are like in any way like organic encounters where it just so happens they always come across fucking crazy people. Well, first of all, it is mostly fucking crazy people that go to protests in the first place. But like second of all, they just know that you're there to fuck with them. They know that you're there to start shit. And you know that they know that. You're just pretending you don't know that. So the idiots will watch it and be like, oh yeah, those trans people, they really are crazy. You know what I mean? I think it's all fake. I think it's all completely fake. I think the more people that don't get taken in by this, the better. And that doesn't mean that I disagree with the women's rights shit, you know. I just don't like this kind of shit. I don't like grifters. I don't like people that are dishonest. I don't like people that pretend to have different understandings of things to what they actually do for the benefit of certain audiences. It's like fucking rancid to me. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what shit you push. When people do that on the TRA side, which they do frequently, by the way, I fucking hate that shit too. I don't like it on this side either, you know? Isn't Maeve's mother in charge of politics at the Telegraph? Maybe. She's the one that's an ex-footballer, I think.
Feel the same way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I found that really quite cringe. I hate every side at this point. Yep, same. But it makes it more interesting in a way. It's kind of fun confusing people, I guess. Oh, you said this, but now you're criticizing this person. Yes, it's because I don't see that person as emblematic of that. Or if they're trying to be, then I think it's fake and I have a problem with it. I don't know. Am I making sense anymore? I don't fucking know. I don't even know if I'm making sense anymore. I need to stop in a sec anyway. But it's been fun. Listen, it's been fun. viewership was slightly higher at points, which is always good. Admittedly, I'm just doing whatever the fuck I want nowadays and not really caring. So it's like the real ones at this point. I love you all. Nepo baby. Yep, true. True. But yeah, I don't know. This is lucrative shit at the moment. Anyway. Yeah, I'll stop now. Thanks for watching. It's been fun. I will be back whenever. If I'm not streaming tomorrow, then maybe Monday. Actually, no. I have a video that I'm working on. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. Maybe tomorrow, maybe at some point next week. I'm only doing like 2 or 3 streams a week these days, but I don't know. Maybe I'll figure out like a schedule. It's just difficult to at the moment. Lots